YouTube! Hey look! It's two bald guys talking about wrestling.
There's one that's talking at the minute.
This is going to be a great show. Follically challenged bald guys talking about wrestling.
Hey, listen. I can last longer than that.
Well, hey!
Oh, follically.
Follically. This is TWS Radio, TWSRadio.com. Go to the Facebook, sorry, go to the website, TWSRadio.com. Click on Listen Live and join the chat room. We want your questions and topics tonight. It is Listener Takeover show tonight. We ain't setting the topics. We ain't setting the questions. You are. And if you don't,
hashtag follically challenged.
That's the one.
If you can spell that without looking it up, you deserve your question to be answered.
Go to TWSRadio.com. Click on Listen Live and get into the chat room. I'm going to try and get Periscope working now.
Try and get that Periscope working. We don't like to discriminate on this show. Everyone needs to be viewing.
Doesn't want to work, you know.
Well, bad workman blames his tools.
Yeah, I'm trying something.
As long as you keep your pants on, big guy, doesn't matter to me.
Right, I'm going to try again. Yep, got it again. Hang on, we'll do it live in a second.
Is it on charge?
It's not that, it's the
Dude, how weird is this? I'm watching myself on Facebook.
We're live on Periscope.
We're live? Hey Periscope! Destroy those heart buttons.
I'm going to go round walk in front of you. So now this is the different bit. Do I give them the crutch view or do I give them the bum view? Crutch view.
You've got a ridiculously good looking ass and you've got a bulbous looking crutch. So, I mean, it's dealer's choice.
I'm going to go bum. I think it's a little bit more subtle.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Go bum, mate.
Ladies.
Hey! Good morning.
Right.
Notice how I didn't move my chair.
Yeah, thanks.
Kind of asserted my authority. It's like, yeah, I ain't moving my chair.
Welcome to TWS Radio!
Is it time to put the old headphones
Beast
on?
and mouthpiece.
Oh! I see what he did there. Was that a swear word?
Huh?
Was that a swear word on this song?
Might have been.
It was.
We are going to go live on time.
When does this happen? Ever.
Countdown is on. If you're watching this now, we are going to go live in about 30 seconds.
Swore. Did you hear that swear word?
Yes.
Everybody plays the same effing games. Not PG. That's not PG.
Okay, you ready?
I'm ready.
I'm not.
I'm not. I knew I should have produced.
So I'm going to do this. Hello and welcome to TWS Radio, Total Wrestling Show, broadcasting around the world at TWSRadio.com or on the TuneIn app. It's Dan Barnsdale, I'm here tonight. I am representing Team Mafia, and I'm sorry to say that we've got a bit of a depleted team tonight. That's right, I'm here, and I've got only one other person with me tonight, but he is more than enough to make up for the rest of the team. He is the big man himself. He is normally the man who sometimes pushes knobs and buttons on the producing chair, but this week I'm doing it. It's Crusher.
Greetings and salutations, listeners.
How are you, big man?
I'm really good. How are you?
Mate, it's quiet here tonight, isn't it?
Do you know what? I'm pumped.
I'm pumped, yeah.
I'm going to promise everyone now, regardless of who I upset, and I upset people on a daily basis, any questions asked will be brutally honest answers coming your way. Get ready for that. I might just get blacklisted from everywhere.
Because what Crush is alluding to there, that tonight is a very, very special show. We don't do these very often, but this is a listener takeover tonight. What does that mean? If you're a new listener, you've never checked out TWS Radio before, it's very straightforward, to be fair. That means this is your show. You set the topics, you set the questions, you choose the music, and you set the debate. No breaks, no ads. This is us going as long as you want us to. This is Listener Takeover.
I ain't got nowhere else to go, have you?
I know you have.
Hey!
But that's an off-air conversation, I'm sure.
Yeah.
Crushing his love life. Anyway, that could be a new segment.
What, Crush and Love Life?
Hey, if the listeners want to talk about it, Crush.
I did promise honest, didn't I?
You did?
Okay. Crush is in love with the gym. There you go.
Well, Crush is deep in that chat room at TWSRadio.com. Click on Listen Live. He will be your voice tonight. No civil tonight. So if you're listening live and you're on the website, just click on Listen Live and log into the chat room. You can give yourself whatever name you want and interact with us. We have got some great people in there tonight. Some regulars in there like Scotty, Dave Ann Perrin, Jonathan Cave. There's some other guys like Mikhail, James, Joe King, John Bones, and lots of other people in there tonight all talking.
There's loads, isn't there?
Yes.
Wow, look at that. Hi, guys.
You
Hi, guys.
You almost sound shocked, Crush.
Do I?
Well, that's not the only way you can interact with TWS tonight.
How else could you interact with this award-winning show?
We are award-winning.
This is why I said award-winning show, Dan.
Yeah.
Did you not hear my promise of honesty?
Surprisingly award-winning. You can also, it's on radio, obviously, so you can listen to us, as we said, via the website or via the TuneIn app. Also, you can watch us.
Where can they watch us?
Loads of many places.
List them.
Well, 3.
List them.
So the main one, well, the normal one is Facebook Live at TWS Radio. You can go there and watch myself and Crusher talk wrestling and compare how similar we look facially wise.
This is my preferred way of viewing, I've got to be said. But however, there are other options.
There are, my friend, there are. So you can go to Periscope on Twitter at TWS Radio or the brand new YouTube. It's only been around about a month now. We are streaming live through YouTube, and a big shout out to one of our graphic experts, Josh, who has redesigned the YouTube stream page. It looks, and Crush, you can see that, it looks pretty sweet, doesn't it?
Talent knows no age limit. That's all I'm going to say.
No, it's very true, actually. It's amazing what a 13-year-old can do, which I couldn't. So, yes, check out the new YouTube page, please, and tell us what you think about it. That's at TWS Radio. So, where is our partners?
Well, it's an interesting story. Sybil actually texted in. She's going to, I think it's a car swapping party. She said that there's keys in a bowling alley. I don't know.
So no Sybil tonight. No Toby. Toby's actually on a stag do.
Is he?
Yeah, he is.
Without us?
Actually, I feel a bit sorry for him. I'm looking forward to seeing him in a couple of weeks' time because I want to get the story because he was meant to go away. I think they were meant to actually fly.
Snow. But
got snowed in, so literally. Toby actually was stuck on Friday night. He had to get towed out by a 4x4.
He shouted out, didn't he?
Yeah. Has anyone got a 4x4 they can turn out in Shaftesbury? It was pretty bad up there. So I know that he, I think he ended up just staying local for a stag do. So,
dude, a stag do is all about the brewski.
What, Kieran the Bruce?
No, the brewski. Although, yeah, I'd love to have Kieran on a stag do because if I ever got cold and lonely, I'd definitely spoon with that.
Well,
but no, 6-packs. Crates, shots, it's all about getting messy, tying someone half naked to a post and writing obscene things on their body.
Yeah, well, Toby is partying the weekend away, so we wish him all the best. He'll be back in 2 weeks.
Where is he?
I think literally he's in Shaftesbury. I think they had to stay up where they were.
Bless him.
So yes, and Sybil is not here. Normally is.
Is she not at that party? No.
She's not at that party. No, I'm sorry to say. She is very much under weather. For those of you who follow her, go give her a follow and a like. 2 Sams 1 year on Facebook. It's 2 Sams 1 year. Support her for her charity run this year. She's covering loads of marathons for the very important charity Robbie's Rally. But she unfortunately decided that she was going to go running in the snow.
Bro, she is hardcore, that woman.
Hardcore, but it's possibly giving her a chest infection.
Oh.
So she is recovering, and we wish her all the best as well.
You should put vape on the vapor rub on your chest, and someone said on the bottom of your feet, and then put some socks on. Apparently that helps.
Really?
Yeah.
I've never heard that before.
Well, Google it. I don't know. It'll be on there somewhere. I'm sure there's other places that people put the vapor rub.
Oh God, this sounds like a Crusher story.
Yeah, no, don't got none about that. Well, kind of, but no. Yeah, apparently you're supposed to put that Vicks vapor rub. Other vapor rubs are available.
Are there though?
Huh?
Are there other vapor rubs available? Because I've never seen any.
Tiger Balm. I live on the Tiger Balm.
Tiger Balm, yeah, same thing.
I'm rubbing that on my shoulders and everything, because I'm one of those people that beat people up and stuff, and I ache and stuff. Like, even though my matches are kind of punch kick who's the man, still kind of aches.
I ache when I watch your matches.
Do you?
Yeah.
Your face is aching, man. You're an ache.
Oh dear. So don't forget, guys, it's your show tonight. Interact with us across social media, and also if you're listening on podcast as well, at TWS Radio, whether it's Instagram, Snapchat, Facebook or Twitter, it's all under one roof, and that's at TWS Radio.
One roof.
And we tonight, traditionally, Crush, we do Dark Match every week, don't we?
We do. And people, to be fair, in the chat room, 1 or 2 people said, "Oh my goodness, has anybody got the link?" But
there was no. Well, there was a link, but there wasn't a link, because the link was actually the songs that you guys requested.
I actually pushed some people to request. I'm not going to lie. I used my influence. I won't say it's in a bad way, because I believe it was in a good way. But yes, we had some amazing suggestions.
We did indeed. So we had requests from Carl Pickup, Shinsuke Nakakoma, Joe King, John Bones, James, to name just a few. So make sure chat room and Facebook. Thank you for them, and we hope you enjoyed listening to them. We had some cracking songs, like loads of Raw themes, some old pay-per-view themes. You got Vader in there, Crush.
Yeah, I didn't recommend that. Honest. Someone else did.
So loads away. Now we are, as I said, it is listener takeover tonight. On TWS Radio. So we want your questions. So get in the chat room, TWSRadio.com.
I'm here. I'm viewing the chat room.
You can leave your questions as well on Facebook at TWS Radio. I'm just trying to get the details up on my little tablet here so I can get the questions up. I see people posting already. I might have a fiddle with that. But we'll do them as well. We have got loads of questions from Facebook and social media already. We're going to get into them. This literally is your show. Before we do that though, Crush.
Yo.
Last week, we the family did a cracking show.
They did.
Previewing Elimination Chamber. We'll talk a bit more about that, I'm sure, as the show goes on. They actually put a poll up, a very interesting poll. I'm curious to get your thoughts on this.
Tell me the poll.
We're on WrestleMania season, aren't we? It's on the road.
Creeping up.
To WrestleMania.
Yep.
Now, before WrestleMania, there's always a big NXT takeover. The Saturday before, traditionally.
Yep.
No, the Friday before. No, Saturday before. Hall of Fame.
I forget Friday.
Hall of Fame's the Friday. NXT is Saturday. But traditionally on the Friday, and I'm pretty sure it's the same this year, Ring of Honor will do a show as well. And it's always a big show for them. So, in your opinion, who does a better show WrestleMania weekend, NXT or Ring of Honor?
Oh, wow. Check you out. That's an interesting question.
This is the family. This was Scott on the team last week. I can't take credit for this one.
It all depends on the roster at that time and who's getting the push. I mean, Ring of Honor are doing great. I am engrossed with the Ring of Honor situation with the Bullet Club and
the new oh god,
yeah, Cody Rhodes and
Kenny and
Kenny Omega,
yeah.
The Bucks. Marty Scurll is just smashing it up out there. My boy Flip is absolutely smashing the joint up. Shout out to my boy Flip Gordon. I've got to be honest, I'm a little bit hooked on their kind of promos as to what's going on with the club and stuff like that. Just amazing chemistry going on there. But the NXT are doing some really good things.
So which one would you pick?
Damn. If you were to put me on the spot at the minute, I'd have to go ROH.
Well, you're bucking the trend of the poll because 79% of our listeners on live and on podcast vote for NXT.
Wow.
21% vote for Ring of Honor.
Mm.
I think it's very difficult. I think they're both good shows. I think maybe the difference is NXT is easier, is more accessible.
Horses for courses, my man. NXT is a very easy, watchable show because they've got, slight storylines. It's in the background, but you can switch it on if you're a wrestling fan. ROH is absolutely murdering those storylines at the minute, and I love the ROH brand, but I also love the NXT brand. Listen, if either one was to offer me a job at Crusher Curtis on Facebook, Twitter, or Instagram, I ain't gonna turn either of you down. Do you know what I mean, Jelly?
Do you take bookings through Instagram?
Well, man's got a plug, innit?
Man's got a plug. So yes, this week's poll is on the right-hand side of the website. Crush, do you want to run down the poll, what they can vote for this week?
It is... Do you want WWE Raw moved back to 2 hours? So, instead of the 3, do you want the 2?
Simple, yes or no.
Yes or no? Oh, mate, what's your answer then?
Well, we're going to talk about it, because someone's asked us to talk about it, so we'll cover that. So it does link into that a little bit later on.
And they've said the question, so we've got to answer it.
Yeah, and we'll leave it running all week for the podcast people as well. So if you're listening on podcast, go to the website, TWSRadio.com, and get voting on the poll. And the family will give you the response or your thoughts next week. We have mentioned this show, as always, is sponsored by ImpactEurostore.com, proud sponsors of TWS Radio. Give them a give them a follow, but also go and check them out for all your Impact Wrestling merchandise. Everything from beautiful people, leg warmers, yes, they are still a thing, through that all-important beanie hat that Crusher wants to order.
Man, what's going on with my beanie hat? Come on, Impact.
To the great stuff they've got for LAX, OVE. They've got a really nice T-shirt for.
I need some really good T-shirts in the 2XL variety.
They've got them, mate. They've got the sizes.
Do they?
They've got it all. Ooh. From small to 2XL.
They still do the Aces and Eights T-shirt?
They don't anymore.
Oh.
But stay tuned to TWS because we might be able to sort you one out.
I like that.
You like that?
Sort it.
Right, Crusher.
Bonjour.
Are you ready to take the keys to this ginormous ship that we call TWS and give them to the listeners?
I've got to be honest.
It's a scary thought, isn't it?
Yeah, I mean, it's kind of like getting in a car and not knowing where you're going, and then kind of driving through a wooded area thinking, Christ, I hope this car don't stop.
Because it could go anywhere.
It could go anywhere. Like, this is crazy. I mean, we've done this type of show before. Luckily, it was a good show. It was myself and Sybil, and it has been rated as possibly the best podcast in the world.
Wow.
I don't know if that's, kind of me bigging it up a little bit, but I mean, this is just what people have said. It is the best. So we don't want to replicate, we want to innovate. We want to go for gold.
That is very true. So we're going to do our own thing now. I'm just checking. I've now got access to the Facebook stream, so get onto the Facebook video if you want to post your questions there. We will cover that a bit later on in the show.
Love it.
Loads coming up. But first, before we do all that, really, I'm going to take the keys and pass it to the listeners. Good luck, everyone. This is Listener Takeover. Listener Takeover returns to TWS Radio. That's right. This is now your show. You tell us what you want us to cover, and we'll talk about it. And it can be on anything.
Wow. I'm a little bit excited. Are you?
A little bit nervous.
Yeah?
Excuse me. Sorry, it's not just wrestling. We're going to cover anything. You want to throw some random topics out? We'll cover them a bit later on in the show.
Just do it. Although Pineapple Gate has been cancelled because pineapple does not belong on a pizza.
Still running.
Is it?
Still running. We're still running Pineapple Gate.
What's the score?
It's behind you, Crush.
Am I winning? I don't want to turn my head because I'm really lazy.
You are winning. Yes.
Of course I'm winning. I'm Crusher. I always
by
win.
4%.
Boo hockey. Should be more.
Sorry.
You alright?
I've got something stuck in my throat.
Have you got a chest infection? Have you been running out in snow and stuff?
No, I have not.
You
Definitely not.
Crazy kids with your crazy running. This is why cars were invented, for Pete's sake.
Definitely not.
You guys know they've got treadmills in gyms, right? I walk past them to the weight section. That should be a lesson to all of you skinny wrestlers out there.
I was going to say, when you
Check that out. Shots fired early on. Woofer.
When did you last do cardio?
I did cardio. I walked from my car to here.
Right. Just on a side note, that music we used for Takeover, with a little plug, that is used by a very good little heel manager called James Daniels in a company called CWP.
Really?
Just saying.
Oh, CWP, eh?
Alright. Anyway, Elimination Chamber, mate. We have been asked by Mark Hine, he's one of the first ones to come in, and he wants to know what we thought of Elimination Chamber, because in his words, ending was crap. When are they going to realise people do not want to see Roman Reigns as the guy?
Are we critiquing the match or the show?
I think the whole thing, really. We're not going to go from match by match, but generally, you watched it, I've watched it. What do you think?
I've got to be honest, I was very much, it's kind of samey, isn't it? Oh, someone's going to get whipped through the glass. Someone's going to try and throw themselves off of the top of one thing. I did enjoy the people climbing the cage in the women's match. That was pretty good.
I thought that was a good spot, actually.
Yeah, that was really good. It was really, non-samey. It was out there. Braun Strowman should have gone over.
I think the whole... we all predicted, we'll get onto the TWS Team Wars in a minute with regards to predictions, what everyone thought was going to happen. And I think Roman Reigns winning, it wasn't necessarily the wrong answer, but it wasn't the right answer that everyone necessarily wanted.
Did anybody else not see it? I mean, if Roman Reigns is involved in a match, odds are he's going to bloody win it. I mean, come on.
And he did.
And he did. And I was watching it thinking, wow, like Braun is absolutely smashing it out of the park. Monster heel, Brock's a little bit undecided. You got to put that belt on the unbeatable guy. Braun is going to be that guy.
It does seem, we're going to talk about Braun Strowman in a minute, but it does seem that Braun Strowman does seem to be a little bit out in the cold going forward.
Crazy.
Generally speaking, to answer kind of Mark's question, I enjoyed the pay-per-view. I sat and watched it. It was a pay-per-view which felt, it was more enjoyable, put it this way, than I think Fastlane is going to be, which is next week.
Yeah, I mean, Fastlane, they kind of throw these things in as fillers, really, don't they? But
Fastlane definitely feels like a pay-per-view which we are spinning our wheels just until we get to Mania.
The whole show, got to be honest, it was watchable. For me, what was the match of the night? I'd have to say
Bray Wyatt, Matt Hardy.
Asuka Nia.
Really? That was a good match. That was a good match.
That was my match. That was my. I watched it and I thought, wow, do you know what? Really good match. Asuka was over. Nia came out looking strong. I want to see it again.
No, I can see what you're saying. It was a strong match. It was better than I thought it was going to be. I like the end. Yeah. With she went for that kind of victory, but she did it in a different kind of way with her locking the head the head with the legs. I thought it was a very different way of doing it.
She can legit shoot fight as well. So you're going to get those kind of things with Asuka. But for me, the match of the night, Asuka versus Nia. The main event. Dare we say the main event was the male chamber scene?
It was.
Oh well, for me, 2 out of 5, 2.5 out of 5, average.
It's seen a while to get going.
Yeah, average.
To say the absolute least.
I would have liked Finn Balor to last a bit longer. But that's just because he's my boy, and I like the guy.
Well, we've got some feedback on Facebook. What you guys think? So we want to know what you guys think. I got some from the chat room. Crush, you got some from Facebook?
Can we do some feedback? Let's do some feedback. Rob Scott, most predictable show in years. Yeah, well, we were just speaking about that. Roman Reigns won it. I don't think it was predictable in the other matches. Well, maybe Bliss.
I think Bliss was a bit of a surprise. I think there was a possibility they could have put on Sasha or Bailey, but
I saw it kind of. I like Bliss not because she's one of the most beautiful human beings on the planet, and I want her to be my wife, but because she's really likable. She's doing a good job, and they could have put the strap on someone else, but she came out winning it. That was really good. Apart from that. The match could have gone either way, man.
Yeah.
Apart from obviously the Asuka match, because they want to keep that woman looking strong for when she loses it to Rousey.
We got some feedback from the chat room as well. Scotty220, Elimination Chamber was enjoyable but ridiculously predictable. Yeah. We got any more Facebook feedback or was that?
No. I've not stopped.
Sorry, sir.
Francis Riaz. Hopefully I've got your name right there. Great to see Reigns being the guy. Great play. Really?
Do you know what? There are some Roman Reigns fans out there. And that's fine.
The dude is universally booed. Like one of my favourite videos floating around on Facebook is when he came out as number 30 in the Rumble, and they're FaceTiming from the bars, and as soon as it's 3, 2, 1, Burma, every boo, like the whole bars are just booing, and it's great because you just want to boo that guy. Why are you still getting a push, man? Come on.
Well, you didn't get booed the next night, did you? Well, we'll talk about that in a minute.
Let's talk about that in a minute.
There's Cameron in the chat room asked TWS, with all 4 teams doing a clean sweep. Now, she is talking about TWS Team Wars. Because, Crusher, did you know, well, as you do know, we predict each pay-per-view.
I think we do. I have a little bit of an input in that.
You do indeed as team. So if you, just for anyone new listeners, if you listen live in the chat room, TWSRadio.com, you are in the live team. If you comment on our Facebook graphics, you're in the podcast team. If you, there are 2 other teams. There's mine and Crusher's team, which is made up with Sybil and Toby normally. We're Team Mafia, and the other team is Team Family, and they'll be here next week hosting the show. We all predict, and we have a league table. Now, we have a little rule as well.
Ooh.
If you clean sweep a pay-per-view, as in you get everything correct, you get a 5 bonus points in the prediction league, which is great.
It points many prizes.
Can change the standings dramatically.
Massively.
This past week at Elimination Chamber, we got clean sweeps.
Did we?
But not just us.
Oh.
Family got a clean sweep.
Well played.
Live got a clean sweep.
Well played.
Clean sweep. And so did podcast. Everyone clean sweeped the whole show. Which means, even though the scores change, the standings aren't any different. So we currently have, in last place, with 35 points, or I like to call it 4th place.
4th place. Let's not say last, because there's no losers or winners in this day and age, because everyone gets a bloody trophy.
Is Mafia, is us.
Oh, come on.
Only trailing behind podcast, which are 2 points ahead of us with 37 points. Live are with a little bit ahead with 41, and Family are ahead with 45. So it is all close. It is all to play for.
Scotty 220 in the chat room. All 14 got clean sweeps. Shows how predictable it was.
Yeah.
It's kind of a brave thing. Kind of a bold statement.
Do you know what I say? Just because it's predictable doesn't make it bad.
No, I mean, you know, you want to go to the cinema and watch a good movie, don't you? Otherwise, you're gonna come.
Yeah, I don't. Yeah, I don't have to necessarily have a. I enjoyed the show. I'm not trying to be positive. I actually generally enjoyed the show. I thought it was fine. I like what I do say. I think the Elimination Chamber now they've I know they changed it last year. Now they've made it more. I'm not going to say safe because it's a nasty environment. There's a lot of metal there. But now they've made it more aesthetically pleasing.
Yeah.
It doesn't seem as raw. It doesn't seem as kind of. When they're on top of that, I know they had the pods are the same height, but it doesn't seem as dangerous now because it's all kind of nice and shiny. They've got lights and all that kind of stuff.
Trying to say you want to see a little bit of danger in there.
Not danger. I just want it to seem more. I keep going back to the word raw, but
are we going down the lines
grungy kind of thing?
Are we going down the lines of the TNA Impact? You want to see chainsaws hung up in there? And
I'm just saying the old Elimination Chamber look more destructive.
Yeah,
because it was more basic, more hard.
It's a shame when certain things do get watered down and it loses that kind of danger appeal to it. But we are talking about people's safety here. I mean, you don't want anyone to be injured, but in the same breath, you want a good match.
Well, so just for everyone aware, Team Wars returns next week. Because next week, Crush, it is Fastlane preview.
Bit of the Fastlane action.
Will that be predictable? Or does anyone want to find out? Actually, I would argue that probably this pay-per-view may well be quite predictable.
Yeah, I think it may be as the matches this week, some of the matches have been put together.
Yeah, there's more. I think there's a few more coming, but yeah, I have to say, none of the matches are particularly making me go,
Yeah, there is that.
Though I do like a good 6-pack challenge, which we are going to get in the main event.
Yeah.
So, Right, speaking of the main event, in this past pay-per-view main event, we saw Seth Rollins. And Craig Allen has asked us, can we discuss the value of Seth Rollins? He has gone through so many amounts of work in the last couple of months. What is his value now? I would have to say, from a personal point of view, I think this guy is awesome.
I think the look of him is really good. I think his attitude is brilliant. I think he's dangerous. I think he goes through spates of injuring people. He's not injured someone for a while, but he's that unknown guy. Like, I don't want to see him in there with anyone half. I don't want to say decent, but kind of that I like, just because I'm scared that he's going to end up injuring someone. He's the brand that you want to buy. He's very brandable. He's great. I
think the problem with this guy, I think he's awesome. I think I find his face, when he's a guy who works the face, I find his promos very unbelievable.
Yeah.
He's not great promo when he's cutting a heel promo, but I think he's better as a heel promo than he is. He's, from a point of view in ring, he works as a face. He's high flying, he's brilliant, that superplex he's now doing into the Falcon Arrow.
Falcon Arrow, yeah, I thought that was good.
Awesome. And the guy, bear in mind, the week before the pay-per-view, I know we're going back a bit, but the week before he went over an hour in that gauntlet match. Mm-hmm. They're obviously high on this guy, and I think, in some ways, it sounds awful, Jason Jordan being out injured, I think is probably what is going to help him more, because they're clearly elevating him more now. Instead of being caught in this kind of mid-card feud with Jason Jordan, he's now kind of pushed that main event. With regards to where they're pushing him from Mania, which I know is a focus on everyone at the moment, interesting that we are seeing what looks like definitely a three-way, I'm saying, on for Mania, with him, Finn Balor, and The Miz for the IC title.
Yeah.
It doesn't really kind of...
Doesn't excite me.
Balor and Rollins one-on-one.
Yeah. Balor Rollins or Balor Miz.
Oh really? And I think it seems a bit waste for Balor as well. And I love Miz, but it just doesn't seem high enough.
I think Balor and Rollins have got what it takes to wear the big strap. Not necessarily the IC title, because I mean, let's have it right. Intercontinental title is the number 2 belt in that league, but it's still a really big belt to be wearing. And any belt that you win is an honour. Like, there's not a lot of people on the planet that can boast of wearing a WWE belt if you're a wrestler. And
with Lesnar not being there every week, that IC title does get a fair bit of prominence.
This is it. I mean, I'd like to see both for the heavyweight strap, but if it's for the IC title, all 3 of those guys, in my opinion, can do a really good job.
Now, there are other rumours as well floating around about this IC title match. Apparently, one of the potential places people who will be involved will be Elias as well, and Braun Strowman.
I went through a spate of not liking Elias.
Oh.
I didn't like him when he started off. I thought his gimmick was a bit, oh Jesus, this guy's boring. But now he's got that, what's the word? Passion. That passion for his gimmick. He's making that gimmick work. Like, they've given him that gimmick of the guitar playing busker looking scruffy guy that's been down the gym, and he wasn't really into it to begin with, but now you can hear the determination in his voice. Just shut up until the end, and who wants to walk with Elias? He's not saying it anymore. He really means it. And for me, in my opinion, that's a really good thing for a wrestler. And that's gone from me hating it to me loving him. I'm not going to lie. He's great. I absolutely love him now.
I like Elias. I think his promos are great. I like his look, and I think he believes his gimmick. He obviously does a lot of work for his gimmick, because he writes these songs himself for every town. But when that bell rings, I find myself falling asleep.
Yeah.
There's nothing there. His punch kick. He reminds me of a 80s WWE wrestler.
Well,
a big guy.
That's when wrestling was amazing. That's when wrestling was awesome.
Depending on whose opinion, unless he's in a match with someone who can absolutely bounce around for him, I don't find him that interesting. I also think his matches need to be shorter.
Yeah.
Less is more with him.
Yeah.
And he's a great promo from the point of view of what he does in the ring. He understands when he gets in that ring, gets that guitar in his hand, he can get the crowd to either love him or hate him. He's very good at it.
But that's where the secret is nowadays in wrestling, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's all about the promo. It's all about, let's have it right. When you watched an Ultimate Warrior match or a Hulk Hogan match, you didn't want to really see technical wrestling, did you? You wanted to see the entrance, you wanted to see the ending, and it was going to make you feel really good. And for me, Elias, the start, that promo bit, it makes sense. Like, let the dude do that because that's what he's doing, and that's what's really good.
And that's fine, but then don't expose him by putting him in a long match.
No, this is it. You definitely want to keep it short and sweet.
I don't want to see a match which is going like 2 segments over Raw.
No. And
him having to sell and also come up with offense which he looks effective, and people go, yeah, I'm buying into this guy. I think that's where you could lose some of the magic about him.
Yeah, I mean, when he was in the Elimination Chamber, I thought what he did was good. He did the song, he buggered off, he locked himself in.
How much did you not want him to have that guitar in the cubicle with him?
Okay, so he came out and started swinging with me. Yeah, no, I mean, for me, what is he? He's a modern age honky tonk man.
Very true. Now, what they could do with him at Mania?
Yep.
Kid Rock's going to be there, aren't they? Because he's doing the theme tune.
Oh.
What about just not having him in a match? Have him have some kind of superstar, kind of
beef with Kid Rock,
something like that. A bit of fun. That could just, for me, I think, could be a bit of a giggle. But yeah, look, potentially the rumours are there will be a 5-way now at Mania.
Yep.
Featuring for the Intercontinental Championship with Miz defending against, as stated before, Seth Rollins, Finn Balor, Elias.
Yep.
And potentially Braun Strowman. But Braun Strowman is not necessarily in that picture because Marty Lee of Quirk's posted and asked us to talk about this. The whole Brock Lesnar incident, and I say incident even though I'm doing this for radio, air quotes.
In air quotes.
We want to get your feelings. Let's just run through some of the facts about this, okay? So Brock Lesnar, current Universal Champion, was in Las Vegas Sunday. He did meet with his former boss and UFC President Dana White.
Also available for that job, Dana.
Now, it is possible that Brock was in Vegas as well to meet with WWE officials as they were in town, obviously, for the Elimination Chamber, as we know. There is still no official word of why Lesnar did not appear on Raw after being heavily advertised for it on the Elimination Chamber. He wasn't there. Neither was Paul Heyman. Now, WWE.com have released an in-story article about them trying to reach out to Paul Heyman for comment and not getting any response. Now, there is rumours going around. This is what we want. This is where we get into the kind of we don't know. No one knows the full facts. So this is the kind of what bit of hearsay.
Is it? Isn't it?
Lesnar's contract is due for renewal.
Yep.
Around about just after Mania.
Yep. Okay.
We could be in a similar situation we were back in WrestleMania 20 when him and Goldberg were both leaving.
Oh God.
Remember that?
Wow.
So it is possible. Now Lesnar, we know Lesnar likes to negotiate, and he's done this before with regards to posturing with UFC and with WWE against UFC.
Why would you not play the biggest 2 sports entertainment, like the 2 bulls? Why would you not let them go at it over you?
Yeah. So there is a feeling that Lesnar is obviously trying to. They're not 100% sure where Lesnar's going to go after Mania. The people are saying that he did walk out of Raw, or didn't turn up to Raw, and skipped out of Raw without telling everyone, and that's why Roman Reigns whipped that promo.
Yep.
Now, my feeling is that, in all honesty, there's an element of truth in this. Lesnar's contract's up for renewal.
Yeah.
We all know that. People know that. He knows that. WWE know that. Yeah. He is probably negotiating with both WWE and UFC. And WWE's gone, actually, we are still 6 weeks out from Mania. Do we need Lesnar and Reigns to have a face-off 6 weeks to go? Probably not.
Yeah,
do we not get more value and more people talking about it by not having Lesnar turn up?
Yeah.
And at the same time, we can then potentially use this to our advantage and get Roman Reigns to cut a promo, which is basically saying what a lot of fans are thinking, that Lesnar's never there, he doesn't defend the title, and it does turn Reigns into this babyface, which the WWE want him to be, and they have been really struggling to get him to be.
Yeah, he's not the man that you cheer for, he's the man you boo.
Or is this a legitimate work and Lesnar just didn't turn up? One thing great about this show is Crusher is our resident, he's a wrestler within the UK scene.
Wrestler's a bit strong.
We want to get your kind of feelings as well. I'll give you mine. What do you think? Is this a work? Is this something different? Is this a bit of both?
Okay, let's delve into the mind of the Crushinator. Crushinator. Lesnar can legit dominate in both the WWE and the UFC. The guy is drowning in money. Last time I checked, I believe it was the Forbes list. His merch alone sold an absolute ton, like within the millions. Now,
of course, we think about how clever that T-shirt is. Every town has got his printing on it, so
this is it.
It's so simple.
This is what I'm saying. But if your contract's coming up with one, it's like a job interview, isn't it? You're going to apply for a job, and the best one is the one that's going to get you. Now, UFC is absolutely smashing it at the minute. Dana White has done a fantastic job from taking it from a backyard, backstreet thing to mainstreaming it, and he can offer the multi-million contract, and it is the type of place to go to make your money. You look at Conor McGregor, that guy is just worth an absolute fortune. Now, Vinnie Mac, he's no stooge. He's the man that has made WWE, and God love him for it. That's why we're all here. Your contract's up. You've got a great guy like Paul Heyman, who is also your manager in real life. He's legit. He isn't. That's not kayfabe. He is legit your manager. You're there, Paul Heyman. You both look at each other going, do you know what? We need to get WWE and UFC in a room together so they can hash it out. Did Brock Lesnar deliberately miss it? Did he not? I don't know. I don't think we'll ever know. If Brock did miss it deliberately and he was like 100%, made to turn up, that's kind of like saying to WWE, listen, I can do whatever I want. I'm Brock Lesnar. If you don't like it, I'll go work for UFC. They've kind of got to come back with something of, damn, do you know what? We need this guy. But saying that, you've got Roman Reigns, who cut an absolutely epic promo for once. And I will say for once, because the guy's absolutely terrible with the mic, as John Cena did prove. But there was a lot of truth in that. Like, when he did that promo, you could legit see that he meant every word of it. But at the same time, that's got to terrify me, because Brock Lesnar can legit beat the living life out of every single person in that locker room. So for me, it's kind of a catch-22. Like, if he didn't turn up and I'm Roman Reigns and they go, dude, Brock Lesnar's not turned up, we want you to go in that ring and absolutely annihilate him. I've got to be saying, sorry, what? You want me to go in that ring and slag off someone who is 6'2", 6'2" wide and can beat everyone in the arena up?
Including me.
Yeah, and you're having a laugh. Now, Paul Heyman, he's the one that's advertised for the Undertaker ending streak. He said, but what if Brock Lesnar just said, you know what, sod it, I'm going to beat him up in the ring and I'm going to pin him regardless. That guy, when you get Brock Lesnar in an arena, there is not one single person in that arena. Like, if I'm on the security team and Vince McMahon says, oh look, here comes Brock Lesnar, I want you to remove him out of the building. Say, what? What do you want me to do? Run him over? I'm not going to be able to stop Brock Lesnar. The guy is an all-American freestyle wrestler. That's brilliant. But to train that guy in strikes and to put him in the UFC, that's kind of making him bulletproof. I mean, Godzilla's not going to be able to throw him out of the building. So you've got Roman Reigns that is cut to the bone on a promo. That guy's going to have to watch what he says in the dressing room. And if he doesn't walk up to Brock Lesnar and say, listen, I was told to kind of shoot that, really sorry, no hard feelings. But Brock Lesnar is in a dominant position with the WWE and the UFC. And I can see it as a win-win for me. If Brock Lesnar stays with the WWE, he's going to get that big money. He's going to stay on part-time hours. If he goes into the UFC, the dude can legit have a fight. And I know he got busted for the steroids thing, but
well, I was going to bring that up. Yes.
You can guarantee his next fight is going to be a big cash money fight. Win or lose, Paul Heyman's going to have in his contract that it is going to be worth a fortune.
So that's a good point you brought there, Crunchy. The USADA steroid, I think, you got popped for something, didn't you?
Yeah, I think it was a steroid based. I mean, it was him and Mark Hunt, really good fight, and I got to say I back Mark Hunt on that because I love Mark Hunt as a fighter. But it is what it is. It's in the past. I mean, But
it's not in the past. The problem, he hasn't served out that suspension yet. So if he returns to UFC, say just after Mania, so we're talking beginning of April, he won't be able to fight. He's still got, I think, 6 months of suspension is sent out, which will push him back till about, I think they're saying with not saying good behaviour. They believe they can get him in ready for September.
This is it, but even if you're looking at the 6 month suspension, you can have 6 months of building up that big money fight. You have got Brock Lesnar, who is in phenomenal shape already, not in UFC shape, but phenomenal shape. You have got 6 months for Brock Lesnar to go, cool, I've now got a date, watch me smash that teamwork.
Which company needs him more? Which company needs Brock Lesnar more? WWE or UFC? The guys in the chat, watching, they're talking long and hard in the chat about this promo that Roman Reigns said. So we'll come back to that in a minute, but generally speaking, they're saying about this promo that Brock was told to stay home.
Yeah.
So Roman can cut his promo. That comes from Punkosaurus. The canon, someone all wrote all Roman's words. Can Brock still be successful in UFC? It seems the sport has moved on without him. He can barely scrape past Hunt by cheating. Hunt is hardly one of the top guys. That's a good point, actually. Brock's not a young guy anymore either.
Yeah, but it's saying that Hunt isn't one of the top guys. Hunt is by far one of the top 10 guys in his weight division because he's just got that raw Islander, I'm just going to knock you out, I don't care who it is. That's a bit unfair for Hunt, but let's have it right. Lesnar needed sports enhancement chemicals to best Hunt.
So what would happen if he didn't have them?
This is it. I mean, you could. This is the beauty of. It's not beauty. I do apologise. This is the entertainment value of legit fighting. No one fight can be replayed the same, and Conor McGregor proved that with Nate Diaz. Nate Diaz came in, albeit it wasn't a long notice, and he took Conor McGregor apart because Conor McGregor didn't know how to fight Nate Diaz. Then when they went back to the drawing board and Conor McGregor knew just to pick Nate Diaz off, he picked him apart and absolutely destroyed him and won back his belt. In the UFC, it is a legit fighting and no two fights can end the same. You can absolutely dominate one fight and then you'll have the rematch and it's totally different.
See, Punkosaurus in the chat room saying Brock has been a stopgap till Roman, Seth, Balor, Braun, etc. get over or got over. The question is now, are any of them over?
Well,
they are to the degree, but are they to the same degree that Lesnar is? And is it difficult to compare? Is it unfair, to compare Lesnar to anyone within WWE and that kind of ilk? Because we are seeing these guys week in, week out. We see Lesnar maybe once a month, and we see him fight maybe once a quarter.
Yeah, I mean,
in WWE days.
You could go even further than that and say, would Brock be as popular without Paul Heyman?
Yeah, I think he would because they have done spells without him being with Paul.
Yeah.
The promo side of it, but I think Lesnar's this now kind of got this aura that he can come in, throw people around and leave again. Have you seen he did a house show this week, and the audience booed it.
Really?
Because of how long he was actually in the ring. The whole thing lasted under 5 minutes.
Holy.
And that's including getting in and out of the ring.
Really?
I think the match itself was about 45 seconds against Kane.
He did a 45-second match with the Big Red Machine, who is legit one of the top guys that can...
Oh, Kane's gone on his way out now.
He's still the Big Red Machine.
But, spoiler alert, Kane lost. Just in case anyone was wondering.
45 seconds in a house show. Kind of thinking he would have.
So we've got loads of feedback on this promo from Facebook as well as in the chat room here with regards to stuff what you guys think at TWS Radio. Was this promo real or not? Let us know at TWS Radio. Let's get some of the comments coming up. There's so many.
Let's go over some of this feedback. Phil Bellamy, good surname, I like that. I think his promo was WWE trying to play the double bluff and attempt to build support for Reigns. I think Lesnar no-showing was intentional and WWE are trying to do the CM Punk thing in their own way. It did seem to sort of work as the crowd seemed into it, and they really did seem into it.
Yeah, I agree with that. I think that's a good point there by Phil, actually, that WWE are now quite clever at trying to work the audience, as they should, because it is a soap opera at the end of the day, and they try to get it. And an element of realness goes a long way in a scripted drama. Is that an unfair way of putting it?
We say it all the time, don't we? Is this kayfabe? Isn't this kayfabe? They are the masters. They are the magicians of, this could be a trick. This could not be a trick.
The puppet masters.
Exactly. Jamie Tipton. Reigns' promo was almost a whole shoot from what I've read. So I fully agree with what he had to say. It was a brilliant promo. I absolutely love it. Didn't love it as much as, when John Cena and Reigns had a lot to say about each other. I believe that was pretty much throw the script out and let them have it. But it was a good promo nevertheless. I mean, Roman Reigns is the guy that is constantly being booed and has got a lot of things to say, a lot of emotion build up. And if you do say to someone like Reigns, listen, just go out there, have a microphone and say something, he is going to say something and it's going to be raw.
How much of that do you think was scripted? Do you think he was giving bullet points, or do you think that was word for word?
I honestly think, what were some of the points in the promo? He was saying, I honestly don't like Brock Lesnar, I think he was overrated, or some of the
It was a fairly short promo, to be fair. It was kind of a case of, I shouldn't be saying this, I'm going to say this, the guy's never here, I am here, I love this job, I work and travel around the world with this company. Lesnar comes in and goes, and I'm not afraid of him, basically.
But that's a brave thing to say, because you're saying it to Brock Lesnar. This is like me having a square off with a tank and saying, well, come at me, bro, if you think you're good. There's only going to be one winner there. I mean, there's all going to be postures, but at the end of the day, as soon as the tank presses that go button, I'm going to die. If Reigns said all of that off his own back, I'm not too sure how the locker rooms are in the WWE. I know on indie shows we're all stuffed in a broom cupboard and then we get changed.
If we're lucky.
If we're lucky, but I mean, some of the venues have very good dressing rooms, but I'd imagine that WWE have really big locker rooms and they're really good, well facilities and stuff like that. Does Brock Lesnar have his own locker room?
Yeah, apparently yes.
So
apparently,
what's going to happen now? Brock Lesnar's seen all of that and he goes in the building and he says, "Listen, who told Reigns to say that? Because I want words with whoever says that." And someone says, "Listen, fam, that was all Reigns." And he goes, "Cool, no worries. Where's Reigns?"
Going to the chat room for some feedback. Scotty220, imagine Rollins cutting that part-time promo on Brock and going to WrestleMania and then winning over Brock Lesnar. Wow. That would in some way. But again, what difference does it make whether it's whether it's Reigns or whether it's Rollins? Is this the fact that we are, as a more smart wrestling fan, we are, in the main, not a big Reigns fan? I'm kind of 50-50 on the guy. I know if you speak to Scott or a lot of the family, the other team, they're very pro-Reigns. They think he's a good worker, which I agree he is.
For me, Reigns, I would like to see Reigns go heel. I think it would be absolutely beautiful for Reigns to go heel, but in the same breath, I just cannot get over the fact that even if it was a scripted shoot, even if it was an off-the-cuff shoot, for my own personal bloody safety, if someone said to me, "Mug off Brock Lesnar," I'd be like, "What? You're joking, right?" Anyway, some of the other feedback. Mark Scotchster. This is one match where I don't actually care. Reigns is boring, and allowing Lesnar to be the champion for a whole year and not turning up every week is a joke. Where it states that a wrestler, sports entertainment champion, required to defend the title at least once in a 30-day period. Enough of them.
See, I do agree with that last part of his comment there, because we have had storylines where wrestlers have had to defend their title because they haven't defended it in 30 days, or have had the title stripped off them because they can't defend it within 30 days because they're injured. And Lesnar goes for maybe 40, 60 days or so without him being on TV. So I get that, and it's almost like WWE doing a double standard thing. If you're going to have that storyline, then don't let your main champion get away with it.
But this is the thing is Brock knows his value. So if in his contract, when he's chatting, listen, I only want to work this many hours and this many. If they've said, yeah, cool, you can do that, then it's not Brock's fault. It's the WWE's fault for letting him get away with it. But I'm going to be brave now. I like the elusiveness of Brock Lesnar because, I mean, for me, I'd like to see the title get defended loads, but there's only a certain amount of matches you can have before you got to start thinking, wow, this chap's had the belt for a while.
Yeah, I get what you're saying. Yeah.
Now, for me, for Brock Lesnar to come and go as it is, it kind of gives the roster, like, right, this is kind of an arrowhead formation. To get to the top of this formation, we know that Brock's going to be coming in a couple of weeks. We can all hash it out and stuff like that. It's the elusiveness of the title that's coming and going that kind of makes me like it a little bit more.
There is that kind of rule of diminishing returns, isn't it?
Yeah.
The more you see stuff, the more it's exposed, the less desirable it becomes. And that's why, you know, a great example is people like The Undertaker, Brock Lesnar, the Universal title. That Universal title, I think, seems more prestigious than the WWE Championship on SmackDown, which you do see most weeks. Not every week, but you do see most weeks. So there is a good argument for what Crush is saying there. The chat room is going absolutely crazy at this. Tack saying, presumably Vince gave him the okay for the promo. Buck stops with him at the end of the day.
Yeah, massively.
Which is very true. Punkosaurus, fans should lay off Roman. Why do people still hate him? Cannon's come back and said because he is the dullest member of the Shield.
I listen. I've got a couple more in the feedback, but I absolutely love this one. Spencer Warden. They would have cut his mic off if it wasn't scripted.
True. Yeah. But, yeah.
You've seen who was it? It was Triple H and someone quite recently, where they were going a bit of back and forth. No, it wasn't. It was CM Punk. CM Punk.
That wasn't recent.
No, that wasn't recent. I'm not saying it wasn't recent. As everyone knows, the Big Crush hasn't seen CM Punk's work still. But I do like promos, and I was watching the promos, and CM Punk and Triple H were stood in a ring, and they kept cutting CM Punk's mic off. But because Triple H was stood in there, and he was like, "No, you can say this. I'm all right with this. Come on, have at me." He kept saying, "Look, give me a working mic. Give me a working mic." And every time CM Punk got the working mic, he spoke in it for about 30 seconds, and then they cut the mic off.
I remember that promo. Yeah. I think that was a build. I want to say just SummerSlam, or was it they had a match? Well, no, anyway, Night of Champions, I think it might have been.
I thought that was absolutely brilliant because you saw not just Triple H, you saw Paul Levesque.
Paul Levesque.
Paul Levesque. You saw not Triple H. You didn't see the game. You saw Paul Levesque. That was a real. Like that guy was saying, "You're having a laugh, right? If you've got something to say, you can say it to me. Like we're stood in the ring now." And CM Punk was legit as well. He was giving it massive. And they kept cutting the mics off. And Paul Levesque kept saying, and I don't want to be disrespecting Triple H, but that wasn't Triple H saying that. That was Paul Levesque saying, "Listen, give me the microphone. You want to say something."
Are we now at that point where we're getting a trend? We are going a bit of a rabbit warren here, but are we now getting to the point now where Triple H is morphing, what better way of putting it, into this Paul Levesque role? Because I agree. I think on This Week on Raw, when he came out with Stephanie for the Ronda Rousey segment, that was Paul Levesque. That wasn't Triple H coming out. And it's almost like, I'm not going to say he's never going to wrestle under the name Paul Levesque, but it's almost like that character's gone now. And he's become this kind of like, and he's almost become a bit of a, mystical's the wrong word, but a character that is brought back for the, wow, is Triple H going to wrestle again? You know what I mean? Is that kind of feel?
Yeah.
That like, once a year kind of feel.
If you hear the Triple H music and stuff like that, and he comes out with Stephanie McMahon, and he is the boss and stuff like that, that's all great. It's exactly the same for Kane when he doesn't have the mask, not the big red machine. But as soon as you hear that music and you see the water spitting and everything like that, you know it's sorry for the pun, but you know it's game time. That's the game. Oh man. Another comment. Harpreet Singh Bra.
Easy for you to say.
Yeah. They are not in the main event. SmackDown champion will be it. And Shinsuke Nakamura. They are not in the main event. SmackDown champion will be in it, and Shinsuke Nakamura. I think I've just got half a bit of paper there.
What I think he's basically saying is that these guys won't. That Roman Reigns and Lesnar, in his opinion, won't be the main event. Nakamura and AJ will be the main event for the title. I don't see that. I think there's two options for main eventing this year.
Did you and I have this conversation in a car?
Probably.
I think we did.
About what's main eventing?
No, about AJ and Shinsuke Nakamura. I believe it was you and I, was it? When we was all driving down to Super Clash, and we had the conversation, and it was what was it? We said we would love just for Vince McMahon or Triple H to walk up to both of them and go, "Listen, you've got X amount of time. Go out there and smash it."
Yeah, do it. So what would you put on last? Mania as it is at the moment, we know obviously as things stand, we're obviously getting Reigns and Lesnar. We're going to get Nakamura and AJ.
Yep.
And Ronda Rousey's going to get. I'm assuming going to get this tag match with, I'm assuming Kurt and against her and Triple H. That looks where it's going, doesn't it? Really, especially after Kurt got clocked by that punch this week.
Yeah.
What would you put on last? What is your main event? Or bear with me, the Cena match. We'll get onto the Cena match in a minute. But whoever Cena faces, what would you put on last? You've got kind of 4 choices there. In my opinion, last choice for that, unfortunately, Nakamura AJ.
I'm gonna have to go with you, but I'm not gonna say unfortunately. I'm gonna call that as the match.
Well, that's your main event.
Yeah.
I'm saying that's the last choice that will go on main event.
I'm gonna say that the best match will be Nakamura and AJ, just for the simple reason that they are gonna go New Japan.
Yep.
And they're gonna absolutely smash it. Reigns is gonna be the main event.
I agree. I think Reigns is most likely to be the main event.
It's exactly the same with everything with Reigns. Is Reigns gonna win? Yeah. Is Reigns gonna be the main event? Yeah.
That's
Reigns
it.
gonna get the push?
Chat room is saying differently. Tack reckons that the main event Mania will be Rousey. Whatever she's doing will be the main event.
Well, effectively now, Rousey is the kind of undisclosed, I wouldn't say cash cow. I mean, I dread to think how much she's been signed for. But she is, I mean, what is she? She's the Brock Lesnar. She's
the female Brock Lesnar.
She is the legit, I mean, let's not get it twisted. If she wants to go through the entire roster kicking ass for real, she would destroy the whole roster of the guys. I mean, she's just been awarded, I believe it's her 6th Dan in judo now, and judo is a legit fight. But yeah, I mean, is that going to be main event? I think it's going to be semi-main event. I don't think it's going to be the main event. When's the last time you saw a tag be a main event?
What, a Mania? I don't think you've... I'm going to get crucified now.
If Kobe was here, he would go, ding this.
I'm going to get fact checked, aren't I?
I want someone to fact check.
We had a tag match main event Mania. I don't recall there being one. They've done a Fatal 4-Way.
Yeah.
That was WrestleMania 2000.
Yeah.
They also did a tournament, which was WrestleMania 4. That was a different way of main eventing it, but that was still ended in a one-on-one match.
Yeah.
I don't recall. We've had a triple threat, obviously with Seth Rollins, Reigns, and Lesnar a couple of years ago.
Mm-hmm.
I do not recall them ever doing a tag match for a main event.
You are not going to win the night with a tag match, because the whole pinnacle is that one person standing in the ring with the pyro and everything and the rah. Can't have it.
Well, it's like WWE's end of season, isn't it? Or beginning of new season. However you want to look at it.
It's the pinnacle. Yeah. That's what we finish it on.
Mania 1.
There you go.
That was a tag match, wasn't it? Of course it was. Of course it was. So thank you to Sinky Nakamura, Scotty. Everyone was saying that now.
Everyone. Yeah.
Tag. Everyone's saying it. The reason I mentioned earlier that Braun Strowman might not be in that the match with Miz, it links into Roman Reigns. Strowman's reportedly been pulled from a single match from Mania. Originally, he was looking at him and Miz for a single match for the IC titles because officials felt he was more important to have some sort of backup plan for the main event.
Ooh, backup plan.
Reigns versus Lesnar is basically this is a damage control. Okay, against Reigns' investigation from that filmmaker John Bravo is doing. Now you may remember this before. We mentioned this about a month ago. John Bravo has implicated Roman Reigns in this steroid ring from this dealer, this Richard Rodriguez.
We covered this.
Right, along with actors Mark Wahlberg and Josh Duhamel, who was the guy who was on SmackDown this week.
Yep.
Reigns has denied any accusations, as we said, but Bravo noted this past Wednesday that his report on WWE is now complete, and is evidence of a former WWE legend placing more than $140,000 worth of orders with the wellness fitness nutrition that was run by Rodriguez.
Wow, that's a lot of money.
Bravo also notes that the report will contain evidence on Reigns and other former and current WWE superstars. These findings are going to be released to the public soon, which means if this is the case,
people are going to get suspended.
Exactly, which could. Bear in mind, this is all very circumstantial, but if this is the case, this could turn Mania into a bit of a tailspin with regards to booking. Because you used to spend, Reigns has been suspended once, so he will get a 60-day suspension. Even if he got a 30-day suspension, he probably wouldn't make Mania in time. He gets a 60-day suspension, he definitely ain't going to make Mania in time, nor is he going to make the European tour following it. Which means you then are short of someone for the main event against Lesnar.
Wow.
But what I think is interesting is they've mentioned other current superstars are in this list.
Well,
so it could be other people could get implicated.
This is it. Where does it end? I mean, I don't want to say it, but Nakamura's just put a little quote there. Hulkster on the juice again. This is all back to when Hulk Hogan came out as he's taking sports enhancing stuff, and then it got through the locker room where everyone was tested and pretty much every person on the roster was taking sports enhancing, and then WWE Vince McMahon came through with the wellness policy, and then everyone was tested, and then everyone got suspended, and then everyone got clean. Yada da 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 da. It's happening again.
So what's interesting is here is that Taxpert really good comment in the chat room. He said the steroid stuff happened in 2016 when Reigns was suspended for 30 days. This has already been dealt with. So actually, he may have a good point. So if Reigns comes out and it is like Reigns is proven by this thing, WWE are in a situation where they go, actually, we already knew about this and we suspended him.
He's already been suspended.
But it was over a year ago. 2 years ago, in fact. We're now in 2018, bear in mind. From a point of view of the public eye, is that going to be good enough that they dealt with this 2 years ago? Because it's now come back around, and will public care about that? Or will the press go, this guy needs to be suspended again?
WWE are at the forefront of not necessarily making examples, but having a brush of we're tarring everyone with the same brush. I think he'll be suspended.
Again?
Yeah. It's going to come out as big news. Like, everyone's going to be all over it. And they will look at WWE to be making an example. And if WWE come back with, listen fella, we've already suspended him once, what do you want us to do? They're going to go, hang on a minute, they did massive big deal and stuff like that. You cannot sweep something like this under the rug. And for me, I think he'll be suspended again.
But they could argue they've already suspended him for this thing back in 2016. But my point is it too long ago?
Yeah, this is it. I mean, it's not in... do I say it's interesting? It is interesting, and I wish it never happened, but unfortunately it has happened. But you've got that current WWE stars as well, so what's going to happen if it comes back and this person's done it, and this person's done it, and this person's done it, and it's a domino.
What other matches are going to be affected?
Yeah, like, I mean, just looking at the roster, everyone's in really good shape. Everyone goes down. Everyone's taking their vitamins and saying their prayers, brother.
Well, think about it. We've had people in the past being caught for steroids, which not people you remember. Remember Funaki getting popped for it. And that's not a name. Jimmy Yang Wang, again, not a name you particularly would think of.
Ted DiBiase back in the day was admitted that he was on anabolic steroids, and he just looked like a guy who was in shape.
So it could be anyone, realistically.
Anyone.
And again, we are only talking very speculatively here. We do not know any facts. This report has not been released to the world's press or even us.
We are having a chit chat. We are hashing it out. We aren't naming names because we don't know.
From Mania's point of view, God forbid, God hope that this doesn't go down the pan, because this could have a major knock-on effect. It might be nothing, but we'll keep you informed. Stay tuned to us on social media at TWS Radio. We'll keep you updated with anything we hear.
Anything, any time of day, and I've noticed that with the TWS team, it could be at 2 a.m. if something comes up. I'm checking it in the morning and someone's already put something on Twitter. So well done to TWS.
Well done the team. Yes, well done the team. Back to your questions. Andy Keenan. Questions and topics. Andy Keenan's asked us, who's going to face Cena at Mania? We're sticking a Mania theme here tonight, very much so. So the reason he's asked, because on Tuesday night, Justin Barrasso of the Sports Illustrated reported that Rey Mysterio was backstage at this past week's SmackDown tapings.
There is that. I keep reading that there is a WWE former WWE superstar who's gonna be at WrestleMania. Ray was just in the Rumble. Ray's been on 5-star.
He has indeed.
People like that.
Yeah.
So
and he looks in great shape.
Ray's always in great shape.
Oh, I
saw Ray and Marty Scurll at RPW. You're cool. And the match was absolutely fantastic. It was by far anything else I've ever seen Ray do. That dude can still go. And how old is he now? 40?
Oh, it's got to be easy.
Easily. He is very much not reached his prime.
Someone in the chat room tell Crush how old Rey Mysterio is. But so what he was saying is that this was Sports Illustrated. He was backstage on this week's SmackDown to finalise a new WWE deal, which would see him in his in-ring return at WrestleMania 34. WrestleMania.
Love it. I'd pop for that.
In a match allegedly against John Cena. Now, apparently Cena vs Mysterio was a match on the table, and it was ruled out after The Undertaker confirmed he will not be working this year's event. Let's go back to Raw, to about promos.
Yep.
And also on SmackDown as well. We saw John Cena do double duty on both shows.
Do you know what? I watched the shows, and I watched Raw, great show. Then I watched SmackDown and I was like,
Not a great show.
am I watching the same show? John Cena's here again. What? And
He's a free agent.
different thing. They're double dutying him. I bet he's getting paid.
So, what they mentioned the Undertaker match, didn't they? On Raw. Pretty much Cena said that's the match he wanted.
Yeah.
Is this a double turn? Ultimately, are we still going to get this match? Well, okay, here's a better question, maybe.
Better question.
Apparently, according to TAC, Mysterio is 43.
Wow.
Okay. Question for everyone. Listen in the chat room, listen on podcast, tell us at TWS Radio. Crusher, I want to know your opinion as well. What match would you rather see at Mania? Cena Taker, Cena Mysterio. What match will deliver more? Or maybe that's the wrong way of putting it. What match will get your interest more?
I'd like to see Taker Mysterio.
Throw that one out there.
Which one?
Special referee John Cena.
Yeah. I'll go John Cena and Ray Ray.
I kind of want to see Taker Cena just purely because it's a rare match. We've only seen like a couple of times.
We've seen it before, haven't we?
Yeah, but not for years.
No, but in the same breath, as Cena has proven time and time again with Kevin Owens, that dude can go super indie. And Rey Mysterio can still move, can do super indie, has been super indie. I would very much like to see Cena and Mysterio go super indie just for the thing of Undertaker is not an indie wrestler. He is born and bred in the WWE. He is wrestling the old school WWE and new school WWE. Like, don't get it twisted. The guy is the benchmark for the WWE. But I just want to see the super indie match that I think Rey Mysterio and John Cena can produce instead of the WWE style match of Cena and Taker.
Like this.
Do it.
What if this is a bit of a swerve? What we are going to get Taker, Cena.
Listen, I want to see Taker regardless. Because I'm a massive Undertaker fan.
What about Taker? I think there's a good possibility we could get Rey Mysterio back at Mania, and I think there's also a good possibility he give a little run. I'm not against that.
Also, let's not ignore the fact that everyone is on social media saying how good Taker's looking and how in shape the dude looks. So he's training for a reason.
What about if they brought Rey Mysterio back,
and
there's another guy who's kind of currently floating around. It looks like he could be doing nothing.
Don't tease me.
Rey Mysterio versus Braun Strowman. Big man, little man match.
I like it.
Great visual.
Yeah, I like it. I like it. Just for the simple reason that I am going to take you back to when Big Show put Ray on the stretcher.
And walloped him.
Walloped him. That was absolutely great, and I got to love the fact that he dropped him afterwards, and the first thing that hit the floor was Ray's head.
If you haven't seen that, I want to say it was 2002.
I'm hideous with dates. I distinctly remember it.
It led into a stretch match between the Big Show and Lesnar. I want to say 2002, but it was just after the brand extension.
I can't.
Big Show strapped Rey Mysterio to a gurney, as they call it, one of those hardback boards.
Yeah.
Picked him up, great visual, and swung him like a baseball bat at the ring post.
That was great.
And then dropped him and literally Crusher's right, because Rey was hands were strapped in, no way of catching himself, and just landed face first on his face.
We're going to talk about strength and stuff like that. The Big Show is a giant. He is so strong, it's unbelievable. Braun Strowman is an ex-strongman competitor. If you're going to give the strength, I'm going to have to give the nod to Strowman. He is in the gym all the time, lifting ridiculous weights. Ray can move. Ray can do absolutely anything he wants. You put Ray in the ring with someone like Strowman, who can wrestle at speed as well.
Oh, guy's quick.
I'd love to see that match, just for the simple reason that I don't think Braun Strowman has been tested as far as his wrestling abilities. But saying that, in the past matches, in the Fatal 3-Way with Brock and the Big Red Machine Kane, Brock had to calm Strowman down because he was a little bit excited, and he had to simmer him down with legit 2 punches. I don't want to see Strowman get overly excited with Ray.
It would be interesting, and then also the other argument is in who wins.
I don't really care. I just want to see the match.
So speaking of Big Show, I want to jump to something that Jamie Moss actually posted and asked us to talk about. Big Show.
Big Show.
Whether you knew it or not, he was very, very quiet. allegedly, well, not allegedly, we believe this is pretty much legit. His contract expired this past week.
That crept up on everyone, didn't it? Like it was all of a sudden whack. Big Show's contract has expired, and I believe that Big Show's showing an interest of being talent scout.
Yeah, so it's believed he won't re-sign as a talent contract. He wants to pursue other opportunities behind the scenes, such as becoming a brand ambassador. Well, that pays well, and maybe even a producer, much like Mark Henry, who's also recently retired from in-ring. Both may still make the occasional appearances during special events. Andy Keenan's posted feedback saying, Big Show, Hall of Fame next year?
If he has retired, I think it's a given. If he is genuinely...
Oh, I agree, absolutely.
Listen, let's cut through the crap here. Big Show and Triple H are legit best mates. The guy's got a job for life, regardless of what he wants to do. But at the same time, the Big Show is the type of guy that is going to be on the big money. He has got to have earned his money now, so he's got to be nice and comfortable. And he's like, right, yeah, okay, cool. I'm set up for life. My kids are kind of set up, providing that they work for it. I can take a back seat now, even though I'm still able. And for me, that's kind of business smart and welfare smart. Like, if you've earned your money, like Brock Lesnar. Brock Lesnar does not need to keep doing what he's doing because that man is a multi-millionaire for sure. But he's still going on because he's hungry and he wants that money. But for me, if I earn my money, I'd go, cool, I'm out. I'll take a position of, doing this or doing that. But in the same breath, if you get a taste of that money, you always want the more. For me, this is a good thing for Big Show because he's always been that guy to come back. And how many face heel turns does the dude have?
There's a joke, isn't there? The Big Show's turned more times than a door handle.
Exactly. Yeah. Like, you can overuse so much, and this is going back to Brock Lesnar not being there all the time. You can overuse someone. For me, the Big Show's been overused, but he's got that wow factor because he is a mountain on legs.
And now we've got Braun Strowman.
Yeah, this is it. You've got the perfect guy to take that mantle to be the next kind of big thing. I hope that it's not the hope because I like the Big Show. And for me, it would be a really smart thing if he retired. And he's looking at his longevity now. He's lost the weight. Yeah. He's looking at the.
He looks in great shape again.
Really good shape.
And also, you think about it, it's not just people like Braun Strowman. If you look down the lines of NXT, you've got guys coming up like Lars Sullivan, who they clearly think a lot of. Gulak?
The ugly dude with the big hands. Is it Drew Gulak?
No, it's the Drew Gulak's 205.
Who's
Lars Sullivan.
That's him, Lars. Yeah. Love him. Sorry, Lars.
You've also got Killian Dane. Big Damo.
Oh, Big Damo. When that dude gets the nod for the roster, he is going to smash it. And I'm going to be so excited because he is a legit nice guy. Shared some time with him. I've been in the locker room with him, and he is a really nice guy.
Yeah, I met him. He is a lovely guy.
Really nice guy, but he's doing a really good job of being that monster.
Speaking of big men,
go.
Mighty Leo Quirks.
Oh, Mighty Leo Quirks.
I don't think he's a big guy, but he wants to talk about the fact that there's no Andre the Giant Battle Royal been announced this week.
What's going on with
now? It's rumoured, we should say, rumoured. The annual Andre the Giant Battle Royal, which normally happens at Mania, sometimes on the kickoff, sometimes on the main show, won't be happening this year. That's the rumour. The rumoured plan is that you do a female version of the match instead.
They've been pushing that, haven't they? They wanted to do the cage match, then they wanted to do the chamber match, then they wanted to do the rumble. It makes sense. It's falling in with we're going to do things, but they made the really big thing of the Andre the Giant match and with all the winners.
But the main big thing, the winners. Think about who won. Mention the Big Show. Well, he won it.
Wolf.
The Wolf?
No.
Not the Wolf. Baron Corbin.
Baron Corbin, the lone wolf.
The Wolf.
The Wolf from Gladiators. That'd be amazing.
Cesaro.
Yeah, Big C.
Won it, and last year was Mojo. And
still don't get Mojo.
None of these guys are particularly lifting the world titles from this, are they? It doesn't mean much.
They tried to push Corbin and something happened and they cut him down, but.
And also, you've got to bear in mind, we've got a lot of matches which we believe are going to happen at Mania, taking up a lot of the talent, and it's going to struggle to find 30 people that you can slot into that.
Well, they had to use some of the NXT guys for the last one, didn't they?
And one of the guys from China as well, I think.
Big Killian Dane.
Yes, it was indeed. So, if we do a women's one, A, it would then gives them something to do with the SmackDown women, because a lot of the women on SmackDown, I think
Stagnant.
I think you're going back to. I think this pay-per-view you're going to get Asuka, Charlotte for the title, and probably Nia, Alexa for the title, and maybe Bayley and Sasha in a one-on-one match. Right.
That's building up. Right.
So that leaves a lot of women out in the cold.
Yeah, just doing jack.
So you can put them, people like Becky Lynch, people like Naomi, Mickey James, all that kind of stuff. They go into this battle royal, and you could bring a couple of NXT girls up. You know, iconic, please, yes, please, whatever. You know, what would you call it? Do you call it the Andre the Giant female battle royal, or do you go something different?
Pushing the May Young thing.
Well, we got loads of feedback on this on Facebook at TWS Radio. Let's see what you guys think.
Should we do the feedback?
Yeah, go for it.
Scott Valentine, China. She was the first female in the Women's Rumble, and it gets them out of putting her in the Hall of Fame. You'd want to call it China?
China Battle Royal?
No, that's never going to happen due to China's ex-relation with
I don't
Triple
know.
H.
I don't know. They're mentioning her more and more recently, and it works quite well because Andre the Giant was the what was he? He was the 8th wonder.
He was the 8th wonder of the world.
She was the 9th.
Carl Pickup has just put 9th wonder of the world Battle Royal. Again, can't see it because it was China. I think if anything's mentioned with China, Stephanie McMahon's going to be sitting there and she's going to be grinning about it, but it's going to leave a bad taste in her mouth. She's not going to want that.
An interesting one I hadn't thought, but Shinsuke Nakamura just posted in the chat room. What about the Sensational Sherry Memorial Battle?
Oh, it's good. Right, little crusher fact here. Growing up, I had a mad crush on.
Oh, I did too.
Oh my.
What she wore
goodness.
at WrestleMania 9 to the ring.
Goodness.
Hello.
She was amazing. And if she was around nowadays, she would be smashing it because her attitude was unreal. But she was so hot.
No, I agree. Stunning woman.
Oh my goodness. Let's go back to.
Let's get back. Cold water, boys.
Oh, hey! Phil Brown. If they do a women's one, then it should be called the Fabulous Moolah Battle Royal. Love that.
Yeah, but now we've got some interesting. Now. I would,
Chuck Cardinal. Fabulous Moolah Classic Battle Royal. There you go again. Brian Michael, if you research Moolah's history of literally prostituting other female talent out amongst other horrible behaviour, you won't feel that way anymore. It was flabbergasted.
And that was what I was going to come to. That is a rumour. We say in air quotes because I don't. But a lot of it has been.
Rumours.
A lot of it has been verified by people, though.
Wow, really?
Yeah. But that was back in the day. It was a different era. A different era back then.
Times are changing, but things are creeping up that have happened, and it does bite you in the arse.
Speaking of times are changing, Crush, you should lead, mate. You're almost doing a great segue there.
Am I?
Yeah.
Whoa.
Speaking of times changing, Marty Leo Quirk again has come in. Wants us to also talk about Raw's moving to 2 hours, or could be moving to 2 hours from 3. So Raw could be moving to 2 hours if Fox make a bid and pick up Raw when its USA Network contract expires. I think it expires the middle of this year.
It's all about money.
Now it's linked into our poll. It's on our website, TWSRadio.com, on the right hand side there. We want you guys voting this week. Yes or no? It's very straightforward. Do you want Raw to go back to 2 hours? Yes or no? Please tell us. I think this might be a landslide, I'm not going to lie. But, Crusher, come on. 3 hour Raws. My question to a lot of people is, how do you watch 3 hours of Raw? Because I think everyone's got their own way of kind of getting through it. Now, some people watch the highlight packages. You can get them on YouTube, and you can get them on, I think Sky One does it a bit later on in the week.
Yeah.
Some people skip through matches. What is it? When you know you're coming to TWS Radio on a Sunday afternoon, what is your kind of, how do you get through Raw? And I say get through because sometimes it's a good show, but 3 hours can be challenging.
There are 2 methods that the Big Crush uses to go through any show, but Raw in particular. Now, if I've got time, I'm watching the whole show, but I do skip through segments, I'm not gonna lie. It depends how interested it is, depends how relevant it is. Like, there's only so much wrestling one man can take before it's like, God, this match is a little bit boring. But the convenience of the YouTube highlight packages, and there are a lot of people putting those YouTube highlight packages, I watch those every now and then, but the danger of the highlight package is you could miss something that they've chosen not to highlight.
Very true.
Being a highlight. It's a brave thing. I really like watching Fall Show, I'm not going to lie, but for me, being very, very busy with personal and professional commitments, the highlight show, 9 times out of 10, I give that a glance. But if I do get the opportunity and I'm sat at work, or I'm sat at a show, or I'm sat at home, I will want to watch the Full Show. Now, for me, the Raw show, I'll kind of skip through matches.
Yeah.
Maybe, like 9 times out of 10, there will be a match that I will skip through.
Though I will say, in the last couple of weeks, the 3-hour Raw has been better than the 2-hour SmackDown.
Massively.
Call a spade here, people.
Yeah, we're going back to Raw versus SmackDown. There is no Raw versus SmackDown. Raw has always dominated SmackDown.
I don't know.
The roster is creeping back up there.
I think SmackDown has just really felt like it is just spinning its wheels. There's been nothing of interest. The matches they've given us haven't meant anything or really done anything for me at all. I thought this week's Cena versus Styles was a good match.
Yeah, good.
But I also think,
why are people still kicking out people's finishes? Don't get started. Go.
But if you've got 3 hours of Raw and then you've got to watch another 2 hours of SmackDown and the next night, actually, you know, Raw into 2 hours, suddenly SmackDown becomes a lot more kind of manageable because you haven't sat through an extra hour of Raw the night before.
Well, this is it. Is you're getting the Raw before you're getting the SmackDown. So SmackDown is going to be judged on what you've seen on Raw to begin with. So when you see kind of the samey things on SmackDown, you're going to be going, oh. But if you flip that on its head, if you see it first on SmackDown, then you're going to go, oh, well, Raw's just copying SmackDown.
Punksaurus put on a chat room, it's a good point which I wanted to bring up, linking to Raw. Have you noticed the last couple of weeks, I think in the last 3 weeks, no cruiserweights on Raw now. They're keeping them exclusively 205 separate, which I don't think is a bad thing. Crush, we posted on Facebook because I knew this was going to get people talking about it. I knew this was going to be. I would say it would polarise people, but I don't think it's going to polarise people at all. What are people saying with regards to Raw potentially moving to 2 hours?
Shall we hit with you some feedback?
Go on.
Nihal Harrison. Surely it's time to scrap TV deals and just run it on the WWE network. I think if they can make money off the back of the show, they're going to make money off the back of the show.
The advertising
alone,
fees they get alone, I don't think make enough. They don't make enough network subscriptions to do that. So I suppose the argument would be, okay, you up your network subscription costs, but then it doesn't become as desirable if you're paying, say, 20 quid a month instead of $9.99.
Exactly.
I would love that on the network. Don't go on. I personally would love to have it on the network. It would be so much easier.
I couldn't get, and I bought the network, I couldn't get why the shows are sometimes 2, 3, 4 weeks behind. I was like, you what, bruv? But then when we talk about it, it's right, the exclusivity and stuff like that.
Exactly.
That's the problem that I had when I first came on this show. I went to the WWE network, and I remember Facebooking you guys, and I was like, where the bloody hell do you watch the current stuff? 'Cause I'm 4 weeks behind. I'm going to get elbowed before I get on the show, for crying out loud.
Oh dear, there are ways and means.
Richard Gallen. Hard to say, really, because TV ratings are up at least 3 times higher than the number of network subscribers, and that's before you think about every country that WWE airs in. Yeah, I like that. I like that. Grant Hall. It seems to me that the 3 hour is completely made up of adverts and replays of what has happened in the breaks. The 3 hours adds nothing to the show, in my opinion. I like the replay.
I think the replays help get
the story of the match over, and indeed some of the backroom palaver.
I think it makes it seem more important, which I think is, you know, when we talk about comparisons between Impact and WWE, that's something that Impact can sometimes lacks. I think sometimes Impact does the wrong kind of recaps, if that makes sense. We're going to talk a bit more Impact in a minute, but because I know there's also some questions in the chat room, which I know something you want to talk about with regard to a certain baseball bat incident. But yeah, no. I don't mind the recaps, but if they're done properly, I think is what I'm trying to say.
Dave Brooks, to be honest, since it's been a 3 hour show, I've hardly watched it. Seen the highlights and fast forwarded it. If it goes to 2 hours, I'd be more inclined to watch. A third hour hasn't improved it at all. That's a bit brave.
No, it's people's opinions. I would say that Dave may well be in the majority with regards to his feelings about the length of it. Nothing else.
Chris Mullins, SmackDown isn't much better anymore. The issue is with the creative, not the length. Hey,
that is possible. You could have a 3 hour show which flies by because the creative's good, and you could have a 2 hour show which drags its heels.
Which is rotten. Mark Scotchta, 2 hours is plenty considering Mania is 7 hours long and is too much. Is Mania a 7 hour long
Do
show?
you include the kickoff? 3 hour. I think it's. He might be a bit exaggeration. I think the kickoff's 2 hours. The main show is 4, but you get overruns as well, as we know. And you're gonna, because we're gonna mention that actually, Mania this year.
Mm-hmm.
We're gonna be watching as a team, aren't we?
Can we?
We've had this conversation, Crush. You said
Pizza and beers?
you said you're coming.
I
Remember? Yes.
Did I?
Yes, you did.
Hopefully I'm not been booked. Anything else?
We can confirm now because a couple people have asked what we're doing for Mania this year. We always do something special. This coming April the 8th, I want to say, Sunday night would be traditionally be a family show, but it's not. They're actually going to be in Mania watching it live.
At the show?
At the show.
Hold on 1 second, I'm just checking. Yeah, not been invited to that.
However, so myself, Toby, and please, fingers crossed, Crusher will be doing the show. No, Sybil for the show, unfortunately. She actually going to be running a marathon in Manchester that day.
She's nuts.
Please check her out at 2Sams 1 year for more support, information and support on that. But myself, Crusher and Toby will be giving you a full big show preview of Mania. We are legitimately the kickoff to Mania.
Can we go live?
We will be live. Crusher, stealing my thunder. You're stealing
I keep doing that.
So we will be live from 6 p.m. with Dark Match, 7 p.m. for the main show. We will go as long as it takes basically to get the full show preview plus covering all the news. Plus we'll probably have to talk about NXT, which is the night before, and the Hall of Fame 2 nights before that. But we're going to do something a bit different.
I'm going to do something a bit different.
Not only will we have prizes we want and all that kind of good stuff,
Wearing Borat thongs?
we will have an audience.
Oh!
We will have a live studio audience in the studio, and that's not all.
Mm-hmm.
Once the show ends, it doesn't end.
Mm.
You get to see behind the scenes. We're going to give you a very, very...
Are they coming to the burger shop with me?
We're going to give them a very, very exclusive TWS overload.
Oh.
You will be able to hear and see what happens once we go off the air, and you'll be able to sit and watch Mania with us.
I like that.
We'll have the chat room open. We're going to have mics turned on. It's going to be very informal. You're not going to get commentary. You're going to hear what we're saying about the show.
Can I take them to the burger shop?
You can go to the burger shop as well. You can do a live Facebook feed to the burger shop.
Can I take them to the burger shop and a beer run?
We're definitely doing beer. I would suggest we have beer before we get beer in the studio before we even start the show.
But they can come to the burger shop with me?
Yeah, man.
Oh, bro.
It's going to be a very, very laid back look at what we do after TWS Radio goes off the air. Plus, it gives you the opportunity to see who falls asleep first at Mania. Guaranteed, probably me.
Oh, bless
It
you.
normally is. So yeah, that's a bit of fun. More news on that in the coming weeks. But yes, we're going to give you a very special TWS live overload. Loads to talk about as well at Mania. So that's Mania night, so to speak. So that's what we're doing for Mania. Tell us what you're doing for Mania. Hopefully you're watching TWS Radio and listening.
I have a question.
Go on.
Raw on the network. I have a question. Darren Stevenson.
Yes.
He has emailed in. Hello, everyone.
Hi, Darren.
Hi, Darren. What's up? I am. Did I just really do that?
Yeah, that's it.
What's up?
Hang on. Yeah, call coming in.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What?
Yeah. Hold on, everyone.
Oh.
Yeah. Crush, it's 1998. They want you back.
Oh, there he is. Hello, everyone. I'm a huge fan of your weekly podcast, and I download it every week.
Who isn't? Who doesn't?
Why wouldn't you?
Why would you not?
Just a question. If you happen to know the answer, odds are we will. So, I have the WWE Network here in the UK. So, why can't we get Raw and SmackDown on the network and up to date as well? Ooh, perhaps I should have said this.
We've already kind of covered this a little bit.
Already kind of covered.
Yeah, so basically, it's down to the advertising rights, to be honest, Darren. The company makes a hell of a lot of money from it. Hell of a lot of money. More money they make from network subscriptions. So that's the reason why you don't get it on there. In the long term wise, I can see that changing, but as things stand at the moment, no.
Nakakorma, I can promise you, I will buy a felt tip pen and draw on the first person that's asleep. There you go. That's how committed I am to you guys in the chat room. Nakakorma has just commented, buy a felt tip pen, Crusher, to draw over the first sleeper. This I can promise you is going to happen.
Changing gears completely a little bit, we've had an email from Simon. He wants us to talk a little bit about the Impact Wrestling and Lucha Underground plans for WrestleMania weekend. Very much a theme of WrestleMania throughout this whole show. So, Impact Wrestling has announced that at WrestleCon, which is a big show which is happening over WrestleMania weekend, they will air a live show on Twitch, which is basically their kind of streaming platform, featuring bouts between Impact Wrestling stars and Lucha Underground stars.
I love a mesh.
This could well be a mesh. Yes.
I love the mesh of companies. And actually, I was watching the Impact show today with my dear old dad. And the first match, I believe, was with the AAA champion. And I said, wow, it seems to me like they are using...
Against Braxton Stutter.
Sutter. That's a chap. Really good match, actually. We watched it, and I commented with, wow, they are kind of pinching talent and top talent from everywhere, because it seems like the who's who are being drafted to the WWE. Now, I can't see that as being a bad thing.
It's almost like a super indie in some ways.
I love it.
Yeah.
I love the fact that they are cherry picking people from, AAA. They're going to be doing it now with Lucha Underground. They've done it with Noah in Japan. They're doing it with everyone, and I love that. Like, why would you not get the top guys from there to go to the top guys with Impact? I think that's great.
It gives Impact a bit more coverage. I'm sure it gives. They're then using Impact guys in regards in AAA. In fact, I know they are. Lucha Underground and Impact. There have been some crossover already, because we've seen Johnny Impact or Johnny Mundo in the kind. I'll give a shout out to Chris Twigger on Twitter, because he made a joke about the match he wants to see is Johnny Impact take on Johnny Mundo. But you'll see this week the return of Taya Valkyrie, who was also a Lucha Underground star,
and she beat up
Rosemary,
yeah,
and also Brian Cage, who's Impact are really pushing currently.
That guy's in shape.
Is that not the Steiner screwdriver move he's doing? The old finish, his finisher. That must what used to be called the Steiner screwdriver. That
suplex into a pole.
Yeah. That's a dangerous move.
Do you know what? Little crusher fact. I love the Steiner screwdriver. I wanted to use it.
I bet you wouldn't take it.
This is it. I love the Steiner screwdriver. I think it's unique. I think it looks like it can legit be used as a finisher. Can I find anyone that wants to take it? No. And this was this was when I was at the training school with RPW, with Matt's safety precautions. I was like, listen, I like the Steiner screwdriver. Who wants to take it? And everyone pretty much ran in the other ring.
So we want to know what you guys thought about which matches you want to see. And Colby Cooper on Twitter, that's at Colbs411, said Taya versus Rosemary, which I think you're going to get at some point anyway. Austin Aries versus Mil Mertes. Aerostar versus Moose. Moose, I think, because he wasn't on this show at all, wasn't he mentioned? I'm not too sure what his status is with Impact, to be honest.
Moose was with Eddie Edwards when Eddie Edwards was being loaded into the ambulance. Moose was like,
I saw that, but I didn't miss him. I didn't see him get loaded in the ambulance. Maybe watch different feeds.
I think it may have been the Facebook.
Oh, okay.
Like they show all sorts of angles and videos and stuff like that. And I did see a segment with Eddie Edwards being put into the ambulance with Moose going, "Oh, you're right, bro, you're right."
He also wants to see LAX versus Worldwide Underground and OVE versus the Lucha Bros. So great, some interesting match there. I personally don't see anything with OVE, but that's just my personal opinion. Also got a message from at Misery Eater 101. Said yes to all those matches, but I think a triple threat match with Desmond Xavier versus Killshot versus Dante Fox would be awesome. That would be a match and a half.
Is Jeff Cobb still the monster in Impact? Not Impact, in Lucha Underground. Jeff Cobb was one of the masked guys, right?
Oh God!
He was one of the beasts. I distinctly Someone fact check us on this.
I'm going to go on record. I watched the first couple of seasons of Lucha Underground, and I must admit, my head just spammed with watching it, so I've stopped watching it.
On and off, I watch Lucha Underground. I'm not an avid fan of it, although when I do watch it, I go, wow, this is good. So that's kind of an oxymoron there. But I believe that Jeff Cobb was one of the monsters on there, because I listened to Jeff Cobb with... who's the guy that does the podcasts?
Us.
That's us as well. But Oh yeah, Cobb was Montaz. No.
Oh, Montanza.
That's the one. One of the monsters. Oh God, who's the American funny guy who does the Wrestling Road Trip Diaries?
Colt Cabana.
Colt Cabana, yeah. Colt Cabana and Jeff
Friend
Cobb.
of the show.
Friend of the show, and beautiful man. He did one with Jeff Cobb, and Jeff Cobb was saying that he was on the Lucha Underground. Now, I would like to see that monster that Jeff Cobb portrays against the Biz. I think that'd be good.
What about Congo Kong? Because Impact are trying to push Congo as their new thing. I mean, ultimately, I suppose we are going to get Abyss Congo Kong.
That's going to be the pinnacle, isn't it?
I'm guessing we'll probably get that at Redemption, which is the next pay-per-view for Impact in April.
Mm-hmm.
Speaking of Impact, we had a question which come in, and we are going to now go over to the chat room and Facebook Live at TWS Radio. Post your questions.
Come at us, bro.
In the chat room, Crush is going to get questions, but I will start off one that I saw earlier on from Cannon. She wants to know, did we see, and can we talk about, the Eddie Edwards and Sami Callihan baseball bat incident?
Wow.
Now we both saw this today. I saw it today actually, funny enough.
I saw it when it happened, like it was all over Facebook, and I felt it. Did you feel it?
I'd tell you one person who did feel it, Eddie Edwards.
Yeah, Eddie Edwards got all of that.
For those of you that might have missed it, I suppose we should probably mention that more than anything else, shouldn't we? For those of you that might have missed the Impact this past week, the main event was Sami Callihan and Eddie Edwards in a match, fairly strong match. The match ended, and then at the end of it, Sami Callihan got a chair. Eddie Edwards was lying prone in the ring. Yep. He put the chair sort of around his shoulders,
on his chest area, wasn't it? Which isn't a flat platform to begin with. No.
So he then got a baseball bat. So if you look at Eddie Edwards' head was, and then the chair, the base of the chair was facing towards it. So the back of the chair was over his kind of groin area.
Yeah.
Sami Callihan then gets a baseball bat and decides he's going to hit the chair, not Eddie Edwards, the chair, on the seat, part, to make it kind of go down onto his chest. Which I get what the idea was.
If he would have caught that flush and sweet, it would have made a clang, and you'd have been able to sell the living life out.
And it would have looked and made and probably been very safe for Eddie to take. And
yeah, you say safe.
But he wasn't. So I've watched this a couple of times. And I can't. You've been in the ring, Crush. I know you've not necessarily done this kind of move, but
you've been in the ring as well. Don't downplay it.
You're much more experienced than I myself. What happened here? Did it literally just bounce off?
In my experience, the dudes knew the spot. Now, talking about the spot and doing the spot are two different things. It looked very rushed to me. They were getting the chair right. Now, this isn't the type of thing where you can check that the chair's all nice and safe. And then it was go, 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 go. And in my opinion, Eddie Edwards had the chair on him. It wasn't flush. And the other dude, he swung the baseball bat. He was all excited. He didn't catch the chair flush. It was a glancing blow. And you saw that baseball bat bounce off Eddie Edwards' eye. Not his head, his eye socket. Now, which isn't the best place to hit someone.
As I understand it, he got a crushed orbital bone and nose.
Nose, yeah. Like that. Like, I don't know if anybody's legit been hit with a baseball bat. I have. I have, and I can honestly tell you that it hurts. Like, you're at the dangerous end. If that end hits you, that's an owie thing. And to catch that in the orbital socket, I thought Eddie Edwards did really good not to die.
We've got to remember the orbital bone is actually a bone they can't actually cast anyway. You've got to let it heal. So he's potentially going to be. I don't know the full ins and outs how long he's going to be out for. Bear in mind, this was pre-recorded, so I think we actually broke this news ourselves about a month ago when they did the tapings that he got injured. But to see it now again really kind of hammers home how badly it was.
Horrific.
So yes, he is. This injury's happened before. The Undertaker had this injury once before here, and Mabel sat on him.
Yes.
With a leg drop.
Yep.
And someone else had it fairly recently. Was it Cena? No, someone else had it.
I'm not too sure.
I forget who. I'm sure someone in the chat room will tell us. But I think, yeah, from a layman's point of view, looking at it, from my point of view, I think Sami Callihan got a bit carried away with it. But they are making something out of this. You know, if you check out the most recent conference call, Sami Callihan's still talking about it. I don't know. I think it's an interesting spot. Run with it.
Run with it. Yeah. It's happened. Make the best of a bad situation. But this goes back to your Uncle Crush saying there is a reason why I don't do anything silly off the top rope.
So get your questions in the chat room. Crush will pick up now. I'm going to get some questions from our Facebook live feed. Crush.
Smash it through. Come on.
We're going to start off with James Bennett. We've got loads of comments, people saying hello and welcome and saying
Bonjour.
Great two-man power trip and all that kind of stuff for the two of us. Yes, thank you guys.
Come at us with questions, not a bonjour.
Why did WWE underutilise so much great talent like Neville, Dolph Ziggler, Breezango, to name just a few?
Did you just say great talent and then say Breezango?
I
said that. I want to reach down Facebook and strangle that person.
Well, that's James Bennett. I like Breezango myself. I think I like both of them. I think they're a bit sometimes. I think their comedy's not quite as funny as they think it is, but it's fine.
Breezango are the reason why I skipped through.
But what about Neville? Do you think Neville's underutilised or was underutilised?
Well, he's in the 205 now. Yeah.
No, he's not. He's gone, isn't he?
Yeah, he's on the indie circuit now.
Well, he's not doing anything. His contract is in abeyance.
I'm in an R in.
Yes.
For me, Neville, he is the innovator. He's the high flyer. Not the best looking guy in the world, but he is in shape. He's at the top of his game. He is a really good wrestler. And for me, yes, very much underutilised. I'd like to see him on the main roster doing a Conor Railway gimmick, taking on the drives.
Good. For brief back to the chat room about as well, previous comment. Shinsuke Nakamura says Mysterio broke Taker's orbital bone in 2010. Brian Kendrick is still out with a broken orbital bone from that GTS.
Yep.
That he took from Japanese guy on 205 now.
Dude with face.
Kendo. No.
You're looking at me. I don't
was
know.
on NXT and then kept getting injured. I can't remember what his name is. Mine's got absolutely blank.
Dude with face.
Hideo Itami.
Hideo Itami.
There you go. There you go. So guys, get your last chance to get your questions in the chat room. Any topics or questions you want us to cover? It can be on anything. Steve Sibsey comes in on Facebook.
What's he got?
Hulkamania. Is it coming to Mania this year? Yes or no? What do you think? I'd say no. I think you'd hear about it by now.
No. They're going to advertise the life out of anything they're going to be using. It's a no. No from me.
Sorry about that. It's a no from Crash. I kind of agree. I think if you're going to have Hogan down, he's a name that you can get some interest with.
You can advertise him. He's going to advertise it. It's going to be a big draw. The dude is the reason why the WWE is why the WWE. So no, you would have heard from it by now.
People want to know. So I can tell you, Crush.
Tell me.
Our colleagues are watching us.
Oh.
The family are watching us on YouTube. Hi, family.
Bonjour, the family.
And you can watch as well at TWS Radio. Even you can watch it as if you're listening to a podcast and you want to check out the show, you can listen. You can watch it anytime you want at TWS Radio on YouTube.
Yeah, go for gold.
But also Toby's been watching as well.
Oh, is he still of a sober state?
Well,
if he is, I'm disappointed.
He wants to know why you're not producing tonight.
I don't think it's a secret now. Crush is very good at the kick, punch, lift, suplex. Not so good at pressing record, it turns out. We did the Christmas special, wasn't it?
Yes.
We did a really good show. WWE Network wasn't doing their best to do a really good show.
We did a good show.
We did a good show. We had a laugh and a joke, and the big Crush was in the chair. He was doing awesome doing the producing. And then when it came to put it up on the web, someone didn't check that Crush had pressed record. For me, it's like a meatball sub. The meatball sub is perfect with double cheese, with the meatballs and the marinara. There's no need to add anything else. Leave it at that. When you start adding and subtracting, then it turns away from being the greatest sub ever. That's why we need to keep it as you and the toaster producing and me just bringing the big heavy hits down. So, to answer your question, Toby, and I'm very disappointed that you can still type in a good fashion, I'm not a very good producer. Soz lol.
Okay, question from the chat room. From Tack, with the Warrior Award being announced this week, is that it for the Hall of Fame this year? Do you see any more names being announced? That's a good question.
Can they squeak in one under the wire?
I think you're 6 weeks to Mania. You still got time.
you could put one up. I think the obvious ones have been done. They're not necessarily the ones I would have liked to have been in there, but still Goldberg really.
Well, if you think about it, we've got a tag team in the Dudleys. We've got Women in Ivory.
Dudley should have been in there a long time ago. Ivory, great talent, very beautiful woman. Love following her on Instagram.
You've got the more surprising one in Jeff Jarrett going in.
Yeah, I mean, Jeff Jarrett for me, he's one of the wrestling families. When you say families of wrestling, yeah, he kind of belongs in the Hall of Fame.
And we've got Goldberg headlining, as Punkosaurus said. Goldberg can't headline it. I don't see reasons why he can't. It's not He's not the name I'm particularly excited about, but he's fine.
We've been over this with me and Goldberg. I respect the guy as an athlete. I respect the guy as a person. I even enjoy his acting, albeit kind of rotten in some places. I do not enjoy his wrestling.
So, but we haven't got anyone who's passed, and we traditionally have someone who goes in there posthumously, or what they call it. I can't pronounce it right.
Posthumously.
That's the one. My name I would like to throw out there, and it has been rumoured, Bam Bam Bigelow.
Oh, Bam Bam Bigelow. When I first started wrestling, it was Vader and Bam Bam Bigelow that I emulated. And pretty much everyone in the wrestling game has said that Bam Bam Bigelow was, if not the best, biggest guy that they shared a locker room with, that they hung out with, and that they ever saw. One of my favourite things to do when I have 3 hours to kill, apart from watching Raw, of course, is watching a Bam Bam shoot interview, yes, and it is 3 hours long, I kid you not, but those 3 hours are absolutely gold. It goes through Bam Bam Bigelow from the start to Bam Bam Bigelow where he burst in a burning building, saved some kids, and his body was covered in burn marks and stuff like that. This is when he was alive. It is a must watch. Even if you don't like Bam Bam Bigelow, it gets you the early feel of the 80s, 90s, 2000 of one of the best wrestlers and one of the most paid wrestlers, because he was boasting that he was getting over $20,000 for a Japanese show. And his thing, what he was saying was, he'd do a Japanese show, get his 20 grand and go on holiday in Hawaii for like
Very nice.
a month or something like that. The man is one of the best big guys. And Bubba Ray Dudley, he's been on a podcast and he said, unequivocally, the only man to tell him how to lace his boots correctly as a heavyweight was Bam Bam Bigelow. Bam Bam Bigelow came up to him and said, "Kid, get out your seat, stand up and lace your boots, because as a big guy you need to support those ankles." And he has said that. And also, Shane Douglas, massive fan of Shane Douglas. And when I met Shane Douglas and hung out with Shane Douglas, I actually said to him, "Listen, I absolutely adore Bam Bam Bigelow." And Shane Douglas and I shared some Bam Bam Bigelow stories. There is one person that should 110% be in the Hall of Fame, and that is Bam Bam Bigelow. He wasn't a WWE champion in any way that he should have been. I believe he was a champion in TNA.
No, he held a title. I want to say the US title in WCW, but we'll get fact checked.
And was it in ECW?
Yes.
He held a title.
Tag titles.
Yeah, he is the guy that you do not need to put a strap on him, and he can still be a main event guy. He can still prop a company up. That dude should have been in the Hall of Fame a long time ago.
Which speech do you think? Which speech is going to be best this year? Do you think? I'll tell you what I think is going to be best, just randomly.
Go.
The young kid they're putting it. They've mentioned this week who had the liver issues and is. I think he's got a great character, great personality.
Really good guy.
I think he's going to do a cracking speech. I really do. Ivory, I love Ivory. I don't think she's going to be particularly strong. Goldberg, I do agree, is going to be that exciting. Jeff Jarrett's will be interesting.
Yeah, Jeff Jarrett's is going to be kind of, will he, wouldn't he?
He won't.
Kind of turn up intoxicated.
No, he's not going to turn up. He won't turn up and burn any bridges. It will be very much a WWE promo for him.
Yeah, it'd be nice.
Dudley's will be interesting as well, but I'm really interested to see this kid's one. I think his kid's one's going to be really. I apologise, I cannot remember his name. He's a lovely kid.
No, the mind boggles now, but have they sorted out who's going to induct everyone? Like, obviously, Paulie's going to induct the Dudleys, surely.
They haven't announced any inductors yet.
I reckon Paulie's going to induct
Paulie for the Dudleys, yeah, he'd be a good shout. Jeff Jarrett, who does Jeff Jarrett? Do you have someone like Vince come out and do it?
Yeah, you've got to bring out the heavy hit for Vince. Ivory, Stephanie McMahon.
I'd say, or one of the current women like Charlotte, or
maybe not Stacey Keebler, Christ. Trish, yeah, maybe Trish.
I
someone like that.
personally love to see Stevie Richards put in Ivory.
Yeah.
From the old right centre.
Yeah. That was great. I remember watching them live in England, and they went over the old page 3 thing, and they was going, "Oh my God, we are censoring this. You have a woman on page 3 with her Babylon's out."
Nakamura said about Lawler for Jeff Jarrett.
Yeah, good shout.
That makes really well, actually.
Great shout, great shout.
Tax saying I think Dreamer would have done the Dudleys.
Oh, Dreamer's such an underrated guy as well. That dude is so good and so nice.
The other name to bear in mind also for Jarrett is Road Dogs. Bear in mind, Lawler actually presents the whole show. So I don't think Lawler would induct Jeff. It's more likely to be the Road Dog.
Road Dog's a good shout because they had that segment, didn't they?
Yeah.
Where he was singing his.
He did an interview about it this week, talking about it. Yeah, how crazy, how popular that song is.
Road Dog.
Road Dog. Yeah.
Oh, it's still popular now, isn't it?
It is. Right, Crusher.
Do it.
Before we wrap the show up,
Yep.
next week.
Yep.
It's a busy week. Let's run down what the guys we're going to see. We're looking to get some feedback on them in the coming week.
Do it.
Confirmed matches for Raw. We've got Asuka versus Nia Jax in a rematch from Elimination Chamber. I have no idea why. On SmackDown, you have Carmella versus Becky Lynch. That'll be fine, I think. Mixed Match Challenge. Have you been keeping up with Mixed Match Challenge, Crush?
Can I be honest?
Yeah,
No.
I have been. It's fun.
One of the best things in wrestling, and I shared it on my Facebook page, was with Bliss and Strowman when they were stood in the ring, and it was, can I be honest, we're gonna go all the way, and it was that little flirtatious banter between them. I must have watched that thing about 50 times.
Oh, Crush.
Because that was absolutely tremendous, and not because I'm a massive Bliss fan and she should be my wifey, but the fact that the chemistry between those two absolutely worked.
Well, Crush, I think it's good news then. Because this week on Mixed Match Challenge, it's Bliss and Strowman taking on Naomi and Jimmy Uso.
How is that even going to be a match? Like,
it's going to be...
I'm stacked in Strowman and Bliss's favour.
Looking forward to it. It's going to be a great match. Just the comedy. These matches basically are like house show matches. Just a lot
kind
of
a
fun.
comedy thing.
Yeah, it's a lot of fun to watch. 205 Live, we're going to get the final second round matches in the Cruiserweight title tournament. Obviously, this tournament's going to end at Mania.
Yep.
Mark Andrews, friend of this show, takes on
Friend of
Drew
this show.
Gulak.
Get in, Mark.
And the very impressive Buddy Murphy is going to be taking on Mustafa Ali. Interesting to see what happens there. NXT, Dusty Rhodes Classic, or Dusty Rhodes Tag Team.
Did you say that with the lisp? Listen, personal friend of me, Avalanche, PN News, does an amazing Dusty Rhodes impression. And do you know what? We should actually get a conversation with Crusher with Big P.
Wow, you've got a conversation to Crusher to announce tonight as well, haven't you?
Have I?
Yes, you have. We'll come on to that in a minute. We've also got the Dusty Rhodes Classic kicking off this week. The tournament opening round match is TM61 taking on the Authors of Pain, a rematch from last year's final.
Yeah.
Let's hope TM61 have done something fresh themselves, because I must admit they bore the hell out of me. Impact Wrestling is a big week for Impact Wrestling coming out this week. It's their Crossroads show. It's like a mini pay-per-view TV show.
Looking forward to it.
OVE in tag action taking on Bobby Lashley and allegedly Eddie Edwards, but I don't think that's going to be the case.
Can't be seeing Eddie Edwards being involved in that.
Knockouts title match, Ali takes on the defending champion Laurel Van Ness, friend of this show, after her commitment ceremony this week, which was interesting. TV title match, title v title match. The X Division title and the Grand Championship are on the line, where Ishimori defends his title, is the X Division title, against the Grand Championship Matt Sydal, who wins that title. And we have the World Tag Team titles on the line, where the Cult of Lees take on LAX, the defending champions. Then your main event is the Impact World title match. It is Austin Aries defending against Johnny Impact.
Nice. Going to be a lot of stuff happening in that match, and that is going to be the one to watch.
Yep, and lots of friends of the show on TV next week. Just saying. But also next week.
Yep.
Lot of stuff to discuss. So this coming Tuesday, I will have a Total Talk with the new CWP General Manager Kelvin Biddlecombe and Crusher's good mate Robbie Nitro.
Legend of a guy.
Talking about the upcoming CWP show down in Southampton. That'll be available on the website and on iTunes. Crusher.
Yo.
Speaking of bonus shows, you've got a conversation with Crusher coming up in when you're next in Hastings for EWW.
March the...
We can announce it now because he's confirmed it.
Come on, let's do it.
So late March, shall we say?
You're going to have to fill while I find the poster.
I can confirm that Crusher will be sitting down and chatting with a gentleman that we've recently worked with at Super Clash, and he's also been on 5-Star Wrestling as well. The guy is
24th of March, Saturday the 24th of March, Sussex Coast College, the EWW Wrestling show, and that is an amazing show. One of my favourites because not only is the Dominator a good personal friend of mine, but because he encourages freaks to be freaks and beauties to be beauties. It's going to be amazing, and I can't wait for that. I'm hopefully going to get a lot of conversation with Crushers on that.
One already confirmed is with the upcomer who has been in 5-Star Wrestling Plus. He's working with around the UK at the moment, Joey Axel.
Really good guy.
Yeah.
Shared a dressing room with him at Super Clash. We got along great. He is an unbelievable talent. A great guy, in shape, really good moves, and a wicked looking mohawk.
Yeah, so Crush will be talking all things pineapple as well.
Listen, I get to sit down with him, and two wrestlers get to shoot the breeze.
That'll be coming up probably towards the end of March. We're giving you lots of notes about that now.
Yep.
Next Sunday, though, the family are back covering TWS Radio. They will be doing a fast lane preview, including Team Wars. We will also have prizes to be won, so you need to be listening live to this next week. For that, listen from 6 p.m. for Dark Match, 7 p.m. for the main show, TWSRadio.com. Click on Listen Live, or get the podcast from any good podcast directory, as you always should. While you're there, Crusher, why don't you
listen to the Stiff Right Hand with Stu Allen, the Dominator? Was that the one? No? Speechless? Little bit? Uh-oh. You've just made the list!
Why don't you leave us a review, Crush? That's our phrase.
There was pressure. Why don't you leave us a review? Was that right?
On any podcast directory.
On any podcast.
Directory. Wherever you get your podcast review is what we're asking, Crush.
Listen, just go to TWS and like the living life out of anything that we do. Why do we have to ask this? We're award-winning, goddammit. This show especially. As Toby's not here.
Right, we are going to finish tonight. We thought we'd finish. We always finish the theme of the week.
Yep.
I normally ask listeners, but we thought this week.
You'd ask me?
No.
Oh.
Because it's a bit different. Because of what everyone's gone through in the last week or so, we're going to go out with Bam Bam Bigelow's theme because of the Beast from the East.
Oh, I see what you did there.
And we hope everyone's been safe over the last 4 or 5 days because the weather has been atrocious.
I had to walk to work. That's 2.5 miles one way. Being a man allergic to cardio, was not happy with that.
Hey, I got caught in, not as bad as Toby did, but
Toby got snowed in.
Yeah, I had to pick up my little boy from Swindon, tried to travel from Southampton to Swindon, sort of Swindon area. He lives more than Sticks, and I got stuck on a hill. I had to reverse back down it. What everyone was tooting at me. I'm like, I can't get up that hill. You guys can get up it. Crack on. I couldn't get up. So yeah, I'm sure we'll talk more about the snow fun in 2 weeks' time when we're back on the air. But don't forget to join the family next Sunday. Crusher, any last words before we get out of here tonight, sir?
Well, as always, it's been absolutely emotional. And if you want to follow me on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter, it's @CrushCurtis. And hey, I'd feel cheating if I didn't plug my mentor and good friend Simmons. That's Andy Simmons @Boy Simmons. Every show that guy does, he's @Boy Simmons. It's been absolutely amazing, but this show would be nothing. Did you see what I did there?
Oh my God, you get that bit right.
Did you see what I did there? I'm going out on a high, I think.
Oh, wow. Okay. So yes, thank you guys. And thank you everyone listening tonight, whether you've listened on podcast, watched us on the YouTube, Periscope, Facebook. Thank you.
You guys are beautiful.
Been in the chat room. You have been absolutely awesome. We've really enjoyed this listener takeover. It's been one of the better ones. Mainly because it's been with the Beast and the Mouthpiece.
Beast and Mouthpiece, and there's going to be some promo shots.
Yeah, check it.
Barat Thongs Ahoy.
So we hope you've enjoyed the show. Please let us know what you think of that show at TWS Radio, or email studio@TWSRadio.com with your feedback. We were asked who won the prize pack from last week. We can inform you there was no prize pack last week, guys and girls.
And I still haven't received a big hat from.
Oh, actually, I know a lot of you who were, some of you are chasing your Royal Rumble sweepstake prizes. Apologies, I didn't get a chance to post them this week, mainly due to the weather. I will get them posted this week for you.
What, you were out and too busy to do that?
Yeah, to be honest, I was too busy. It's the short answer. So we'll get those prize packs posted off to you this week. So apologies to anyone who's waiting for them and wondering where they are. More prizes to be won next week. Thanks to our sponsors, ImpactEurostore.com.
Did I win any?
No.
No.
So we're going to go out there for another week. Give Crusher a follow @CrusherCurtis.
I believe James Daniels is on Facebook.
Yeah, he's around.
Yeah?
He's around.
Good lad. Book him. He's all right. I enjoy trying to make kayfabe with him every time we're in the ring. Seeing if I can make the little man giggle.
No, we're going to throw out plugs at James Daniels MC. More importantly, if you want to help anyone on the team, obviously all the team needs support with development stuff they're doing. Can you, everyone please go and like and follow at 2Sams 1 year. Sybil is doing a huge amount of running for charity this year.
Girl.
We're not asking you to fund any of our races. All the money you give goes to charity. But there's more information at 2Sams 1 year. Let's go and check out what her and her friend Sam are doing. These girls are pretty much killing themselves. They are doing this for a great charity. Please check it out.
Is this a legit thing? Because last time I googled something like that, I watched something.
No, don't. At 2Sams 1 year on Facebook. It's nothing weird. We promise you. But they're doing a great lot of running for charity. Robbie's Rally.
She's absolutely smashing it. The reason why she isn't here is because she was training in the snow for that. For crying out loud.
6 miles.
Whoa.
So we will be back in 2 weeks' time. I want to thank everyone tonight. So the chat room has been heaving.
Well, it's been great. I've not seen this many people in the chat room for maybe 2 weeks.
We hope you've enjoyed.
Did you get that? Did you love it all that? You just made the list.
We hope you've enjoyed this show tonight. Please let us know your thoughts on it, good and bad. Let's get out there, Crush.
Shall we? I feel that the show hasn't been as astronomically bad as we thought it could have been, but I think we thumbed through a good 2 hours.
Thumbed through. All right, that all being said, I've been Dan. He's been the big man Crush. And we've been alone this week, but we've been the beast and the mouthpiece. And this has been TWS Radio. And we will see you next week. Show off.
Oh. These guys are still there.
These guys are still here. Hi Facebook, hi YouTube, hi Periscope. Oh, look at it.
Still not leaving my chair.
Still leaving a chair. Still being as helpful as always there, Crush.
Thank you.
That's why we love you. Right, so let's say goodbye to YouTube first of all.
To the pip, YouTube.
So, bye-bye, YouTube.
We totally love